here I go. Yeah, yeah. Here I freaking go. I'm here. I know y'all can barely see me. Trying to make this the best way I can. Yep. Oh, crap. Let's start now. Kind of a long day. Felt uneasy, so I laid down. I laid down and shit. Went to a house, came back here, and now here I am. Oh, after this, I'm eating dinner and hopping in the shower. Oh, what's going on, Daniel? Spread the word. How you doing today, Daniel? Yeah, much people around right now. Bill plans on doing the show later on. Yeah, yeah. I told the person I was gonna do it today. Yeah, uh, she heard about it. She says, "Let's do it." Here I am. I messaged her saying she is. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen from there. Yeah, I'm just sitting here doing this. Like, whatever. Like, people pour on in here. I know I'm kind of late to the party, but thanks to that stupid training, I'm late to this. Nothing special. But looks like I got a viewer finally. I wonder who that person is. In the winding road, I got a lady. I got. Hold up. I don't like this version. I like this. Hold on, wait a minute. Nope, 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 nope. There's someone else. There's someone else. Let me find the right version. Stereo version. I keep on seeing stereo. I don't want to hear stereo. Yeah. Okay. That's a live one. Nope. I want to hear this. You know what? No, I guess I'll start from the top. There we go. Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I gotta be. Yeah, here I go. Hello, everyone. Well, Shoot, guess my shit don't sell if I don't do drumming. I'm staying true to myself. I know most of you fuckers don't like that. I go with you. Ooh. What's next? Let's go with this one. And hello, great people out there. Two. Okay, let's get to the song. Hmm. People. Okay. Uh, Shit. Mm, mm, mm. No, you know, big people. Oh, let's see. Hello, there's somebody.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Dill.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Had a lazy day, but
Yeah.
I needed one. You know, like it was been a crazy week.
Well, yeah, I had fun this week. Went places. So
I
yeah.
feel like, yeah, that was the best move that you could have done because everything else has been crazy.
Uh-huh.
I think it was the big the supermoon we had made everyone turn into a werewolf or something. You know,
Yeah.
your audio's a little glitchy. You hear me?
Uh, my mic. Uh, I can't even hear. I can't hear for shit. Something's wrong
It's
with this
cutting in
audio.
and out. It's cutting in and out. I think
Yeah,
the
something's wrong with
whatever
this
you got
audio.
going
I'm
on
gonna
in
have to
the
do something about it.
right. Can you hear me?
Uh, give me a second.
Yeah, turn off that background audio. It's cutting into the feed.
Can, can you? Oh, what's going on, Pat? Hey, can you know? I still can't hear you, Jeff. I had to turn my stuff up. I was trying to turn my stuff up because I
I'm
couldn't
trying.
hear.
I was trying to tell you, Brian. I'm trying to tell you that all your
Oh, I got
background audio is cutting up your audio. So like you're breaking up constantly.
Oh, shoot, yeah. Oh, I can hear you loud and clear now.
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
good
not
on
that.
my.
Yeah, but you're listen. It's your audio is also breaking up because you've got like all this background sound going on, and that's like trying
Yeah,
to pick up through the stream yards,
yeah,
and it's fucking up. It's all the
yeah,
background noise that you had going on.
yeah. I now I'm turning. Now I had to turn down the TV just in case.
Yeah,
So
you gotta watch that, like, with background audio, and then what it'll do is it'll try and, tune that in, and then it cuts your audio out because it's trying to feed other audio into it, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I think I got it figured out now.
Yeah,
Well, what's going on?
just cut out all background noise, you know what I mean? That's the best
Yeah,
bet.
yeah. What's going on, old alcoholic chat? Yeah,
Yo,
but
Pop,
yeah, yeah. He's back again.
he's back again. Hold on, let me thumbs it up. I didn't
Yeah,
thumbs it. Anyone that hasn't thumbs it up, give it a fucking thumbs up. Come on now.
yeah. Share this out. I can have like four more people on here.
Yeah, get your asses up.
Oh yeah,
I told
I
Brian
forgot.
that I would come, didn't I? I said to you, and I don't let you down. When I say that I will, I always do. All right?
Yeah, yeah. I met. Yeah, I shared the link out on my Twitter. Maybe that other girl that was
I
here.
haven't been on Twitter today, Brian. I went on there like early this morning, but then I haven't
No.
been on there the rest of the day. I don't like, you know how some people live on social media. I'm not that
Yeah,
person. I check maybe
yeah,
once or twice if you're
yeah,
lucky.
yeah. I
Yeah.
see the people I like, and then that's it.
And I'm the same with Discord. I'm the same with everything. Once or
Yeah,
twice a day is my limit. Like that's it. Like maybe in the morning, and if I don't, if I've got time, maybe at night. But that's about my limit. It's like, yeah,
yeah, yeah. I ain't get no sleep today. I couldn't. I tried to, but I was feeling funny. I just had to vomit. So no, it's too late for a nap. So I go to my extended family's house and talk for a bit, and then come back here to and do this. But I am a little late due to that damn train that was in my way here.
yeah, it happens, right? You can't account for, especially when you're using public transport, even more so it happens. And on a Sunday, it's always slow ass.
Yeah, slow as shit.
Yeah, I've got to see my mum tomorrow. Yeah, I haven't seen any family this weekend, but I'm seeing her tomorrow. So, like, I've got all that. I said I'd help her out with some things, like you do.
Yeah, yeah. I ain't seen mine in like a month or so, almost. Got to
I
see
go
her.
be a, I go be a good daughter. Go help her out with some chores that she can't do herself, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom can still do it all at 55. Eh?
Yeah, my mum is touching 70 this year, Bri, and she's had 4 back operations as well, so she can't, like, she's not able to, like, climb up on chairs and get to cabinets that she used to be able to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I go over there and give it a once over and do all the things that she can't do, you know, and make sure that everything's clean, no dust in places where there shouldn't be, all that shit.
Yeah. That's the thing to do for your parents.
Yeah,
Be-
yeah, of course. I'm a big believer in that, and in Western culture, how the respect for the elders has been lost, and how we dispose of our elders as well in society, like we put them in old people's homes and things like that. And I
Yeah.
really feel like that should be a last resort. I feel like it should almost be illegal if you've got fucking family alive, that your family should be made to look after you in your old age. You know, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, you can get home help, like government assistance kind of thing, people to come in and help the family. But I really feel like, fuck it, they looked after your asses when you couldn't look after
Yeah.
yourself. You know what
Yeah.
I
That
mean? It's
makes
like,
sense. Yeah, makes sense. I was about to say that. You took the words out my mouth.
yeah, I do feel like that, and I feel strongly. It's like the matriarch and the patriarch of the family. They've got a lot of wisdom to give to the next generations and the generations after that. You know, man, we all had grandparents where you pick a lot of wisdom. I learned a lot of my cooking from my grandma, right? And
Yeah.
it's like children could do with being, and you're paying out for babysitters and all these things and
Yeah.
childcare and blah blah blah. It's like
They care and all
if
that.
people
Yeah.
get the family unit a bit more together, like other cultures do, it would work out better. I do feel that.
Yeah. But these days, people like to drift away from, yeah, some of
Yeah, it's
those
a
reasons are
it
just,
is a
huh?
totally Western thing, though. You look at all the Western countries do that, but other cultures don't do that shit. Like, they
Yeah,
have a
they,
total respect for their elders, like, they're looked upon as, like, great members of the, village and tribe or whatever it is, and, respected, and they're looked after.
yeah. And I think the agents, they're real good at that. Because you see some of them, some married couples, they still live with one of their parents, one side of their
Yeah,
parents in the
yeah,
same house.
Asians, Africans, all kinds of people, like, all kinds of cultures all over the world. This is, like, 2/3 of the world at least that do that shit, and it's only the West that doesn't pertain to it. It's all, like, the
Yeah,
English-speaking countries, you know?
yeah, but in the South, it's kind of similar but different. Like we stay closer to our parents, like in the same state, say city, whatever. But all,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. And I think that in our country, you get that a little bit more with the north of the country, because there's more poverty up in the north of England, all up that end of the country.
oh,
The south of the country and that in the UK is where the money's at. It's where London's at. It's where all the you get the most sunshine on the coast in the south of England. You know what I mean? Up
yeah,
north is like where you get the cold rain. It's all miserable, all old industrial towns, a lot of poverty, a lot of unemployment. But you do get that unity, that community, and because often poverty drives people to that place as well, where they all support each other a little bit more, and the family unit isn't lost. I think that's part to do with it
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah, but look
They
like
can't
city.
afford to move away from each other first and foremost. You know what I mean?
You got no choice.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit to do, but it's also a case of, like, we know, like, those that have got less, latched together, they band together and support each other. So their communities are often a little bit tighter, and including their families as well, because it's all about supporting each other. If you haven't got, I'll help you this week, and when I haven't got, you'll help me. So yeah, you do find in certain areas of different countries that you'll still have that, and it usually is the poorer areas.
Yeah, yeah, because that's the ones who band together the most. Like the maybe
Hmm.
sometimes in the middle class, but the upper class, no, they once they hit that level, that high level, they pretty much gonna
Well, the
be off
upper
for
class
themselves.
don't even want to raise their own bloody children, Bri, let alone look after their elderly. You know what I mean? Like ship them off to bloody private school. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. Over here, that's how it is. If you're an aristocrat, if you've got some wealth, then they don't even. First of all, they ship their kids off to private school, and then when they come home, they've got a nanny or whatnot, and they're not raising their own kid anyway.
yeah, like that's just shitty. You know what? A nanny should be required. Like it should be similar to a baby. It is similar to a babysitter. That's when they
My
should have a
best,
nanny.
my
When they need
best friend
somebody else.
Matt, my best friend Matt, who I've known since I was a teenager, um, he had a very dysfunctional relationship with both of his parents, and I think it had a lot to do with he was shipped off to private school at the age of 5. And I was like, that's a real tender age. Like, your personality is not even set until the age of 7. They know this, in child psychology, that the personality is still quite fluid until the age of 7. It's not defined. So, and you need a lot of emotional security in those formative years up until the age of 7, until the personality is defined. So to ship your kid off when they're 5, to me, that's quite young.
Yeah, that's too young.
To not have a maternal figure around, yeah, when you've grazed your knee and you've got other concerns, not just about your education. Yeah, it's a hard, and it was an all boys school as well, so there really is no maternal role model if you go to an all boy. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, no wonder you've got a dysfunctional relationship with your parents, because you never really fully bonded with them.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, that's that on that shoot. But
I couldn't
I,
do that
s- I
shit. I couldn't ship my kiddo off like that. No.
well, oh yeah, they gotta be nearby her son until the day they grow up. Then they can do whatever. Hell, they can even stay. Like I know you got yours. You said he still stay with you, don't
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, my one, well, first of all, this is how uninclined I was to send my kid off. I homeschooled them for the first 10 years, you know, um, kept them at home with me and homeschooled them. So, like, yeah, I did it like a real old traditional raising of him, you know.
you?
And now he's in the school system, and but he's doing his college thing, sort of thing. He's getting his qualifications to go off to university, that sort of thing. But he has no desire. Like, this doesn't come from me; it comes from him. Because I'm always like, "Yeah, you'll fly the nest. You just wait," sort of thing. And he's like, "No, Mama, I promise you, I'm never leaving you. In fact, when I get a place, you're moving in with me." And yeah, he's
No,
got
that
all
don't
these.
make any sense. Yeah, he can. Why get a place when he can stay with you if he wants you to stay with him? So you save
Because
yourself
he's
the
got
money.
these plans, because he wants to be a writer and a journalist. So he wants, like, obviously he's going to be moving around doing things, but he's got these designs on buying this huge big place for me, and like having my own like area. So although I live with him, he'll have like a little annex area for me to live on to with my own facilities. Do you know what I mean? So he's got all these grand designs that what he wants, sort of thing, and it always includes me, which is sweet of him.
Yeah, y'all got a great relationship. It's been, it's
He
very,
is the best. He is.
it's very rare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He,
it's very rare that I ever hear a good mom and son relationship. It's very rare.
oh no, we're like, he's my little amigo. And I think that is a lot to do with probably like those formative years and the bond and all of that, and homeschooling him. And I wasn't just his mama, I guess, that, and that's part of it. There was different like hats that I had to wear. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And because he was an only child as well, not because I didn't want more children, it's because it was almost an impossibility for me to have one, let alone more. So I just invested everything into him. But yeah, I do think that made me bond with him differently as well. And there was different like levels of respect given because I had to be his teacher, in certain times, and I had to be his mama, and I also had to be his like playmate and his sibling and all of the roles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And because of that reason, it's like I drew all these lines of respect and things, and I'm like, I can be your friend, I can be all these things as long as you remember that I'm your parent first and foremost, and that's always pertained to. As long as you keep that level of respect with me on that level, we can have all the fun and all the other things and all the other elements. And he
Yeah.
was a real smart kiddo. I was real lucky that I never had to tell him off, and he's never brought trouble to my door.
Oh.
Um, He's good as gold. Like, even from a young age, I never had to, like I had like, if he did something when he was a toddler, I used to give him, like, a side eye, like a look, a stern look, and slight shake of the head, and he would stop what he was doing and realise, "Oh, mama's not happy with me. Okay, I'll stop doing that then." And then he would just move on to something else, and that's as stern as I ever had to get with him.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Other than
He
that,
never had a tantrum in the supermarket, never. Yeah, I'm real lucky, I guess.
yeah. Other than that, no problems. No other problems.
I think it's because he's so smart as well. Like, he just knew. He just knew, like, this is the line. Don't cross the line. You get all the trust in the world, all the good stuff in the world. But if you cross that line, I'm going to have to remove it.
Yeah. That's
And
fair
that's
enough.
the only rule. That's my one rule, you see. It's like clear, concise, easy to stick to.
Hmm.
I don't like it when parents put on all these other rules as well. It's like it's too much for a kid to take on. It's like, Jesus, they're trying to find out about themselves, the world, where they fit in, question everything, and like you're too busy like doing a rota and putting it on the fridge for them. Allow a kid to be a kid as well. That's my other thing. That too many people are trying to make them mini adults.
I'm like, yeah, they trying to get them an early start in the real world.
Oh, you got
Well,
to learn your responsibility. That's shoved down their throat from what age? And I'm like,
yeah,
fuck off.
yeah, you gotta
That's
be easy with it. I'm
I
like,
had
yeah.
this
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I had the sort of thing with my kid, the dynamic of get all your work done early, right? And if you get
Hmm.
it all done early, well, fuck off to the park, and go have some fun on the swings and the slides and go play some football and do all this. So that was the incentive that all he needed. And
Hmm. But
this is what I'm saying about if you give children freedom or give them the right incentive, they don't really act up. It's because like we confine them all too much, put them in these systems with all these rules. When they come home, they've got more rules and rotas, and it's like, don't ask. I'm the parent. Just do it because I told you to. And it's like, don't question this rule, 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 rule. And it's like oppression, oppression, oppression. It's like fucking hell. And it's all a bit suffocating. Whereas
yeah,
I took the freedom approach. I was like, everything leads to freedom. And
yeah,
like that's why I offered it up to him. Everything that you do leads to more freedom.
and it worked out for you.
You see, you just gotta like line it the right way and like, you know what I mean? Let them crack on with it and just know what the end goal is.
Hmm. But yeah, but I got a similar story. Well, not a similar story, but like almost 20 years ago. Yeah, I was given the same thing. My dad was wondering should he take it easy on me and my brother or be hard on. Well, he was hard on us, but be too harsh on us. But he took it easy on us. It's like at a young age, he said they're just boys. But 20 years ago in our high school years, he said it was a mistake. No,
Mm,
I think the dude was wrong all this time because he was just all in his feelings. Because usually, but in our teenage years, we're gonna be loud mouths and cocky and all that stuff. No,
mm-hmm.
it's just having a disagreement. That's all. But they was too religious at the time. My dad's not religious anymore. Well, my mom still is. They was just too religious because they you know what, but I think they was just overreacting and being all in their feelings due to the disagreements we used to get into and the shit that we did. But we ain't did. It was no dark history and nothing dark that we did. It was this usual teenage shit that we got in trouble for, like
Right,
giving it.
and then you go, see, you said there's a religious element, which means there was rules brought into it, other things into the equation. You see what I'm saying? And it
Yeah.
restricts often, and it's not necessarily the way to go with things. And it doesn't necessarily have to be religion. It just has to be a system, whether it's a school system, whether it's that you're implementing, like, this is what you need to do, and it's all these things that are shoved down their throat. And it's like, when are you allowed to be a child? It's like, yeah, and especially in today's society, it's all too much, too often, too quick, too soon. They're too young. You've got little girls walking around in fucking high heels with handbags
Yeah,
at the
it's
age
just
of 8.
disgusting. That's
And
just
I'm like,
disgusting.
Jesus, you look like a 30-year-old on your way to the office. You know what I mean?
That's just disgusting. I know when I was in school, they started wearing those things when I was in high school. I think that's a bit good enough for me. Maybe just me, because they was around my age, so yeah.
part
So
of
I
um part of me homeschooling my kid was about um the fact is that you get a very short childhood nowadays. It seems like the pressure is on for you to be responsible, for you to be cool, for you to know what's happening, that and it's like there's so much information, there's an information overflow, right? And if you dare miss out on anything, you'll be mocked for it. You know what I mean? And because of that reason, it's all this peer pressure is added even more so because of
well,
those reasons. Like, you got to be your finger on the pulse, you got to be on all the social medias, got to have all the right clothes, all the right attitude.
oh yeah, that was happening when I was coming up.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
sure, but not with the amount of, like, social media pressure that there
Yeah,
is now.
yeah, that
On
that was
it.
yeah, that's the only thing that eluded us because we didn't
And
have to worry about that.
and you got to remember the amount of media involvement overall, like, just in terms of, like, how people look. Not just girls anymore, boys as well are getting the same sort of, like, pressures to look like fucking the next Justin Bieber. Do you know what I mean? They're all got to
Yeah,
look
look,
a certain way now, ready for, like, Instagram almost.
yeah, but
You
go ahead.
And I just think those sort of pressures, those sort of external peer pressures, add on in a different way that we don't even understand that it emotionally distresses. Like, especially when they're going through puberty and things, and their bodies are changing, and
Yeah,
they've got all these hormones flying, all the chemicals in the brains readjust.
yeah,
And
hair
they're
growing
trying
on
to
your
find
face.
a place.
I know where you're coming from.
They're trying
Yeah.
to find their place in the world, and they've got all these external factors and all these pressures on them.
Uh, but yeah, but when I was coming up, I'll tell you how it was like. Like you couldn't wear certain things in my high school and all that stuff. But that sure is. Then you had to dress a certain way. Like
Yeah,
I
we had
still,
that
I,
too, but not
sometimes,
to this level, right? You
yeah,
know,
I still got wear these certain pants. Well, not the certain pants. Like had to like at the bottom you had to have them folded like once or twice, down all the way down to your bottom feet, not the ankle, because you didn't want it above your shoe, because that's high waters. They said that's old man pants, high waters. That's what they called it. And plus
yeah,
they
right.
was baggy,
Because
baggy.
there's always been trends and things, and, like, keeping up with the Joneses or keeping up with the cool kids. It's always been a thing. Like,
Yeah,
let's not, and every generation's gone through that to some degree, right? But it's
yeah,
not been so heightened. Yeah, sure, a bit of advertising on television that's like made, oh, girls feel like they've got to look like magazine girls or whatnot. But now on this scale, we're everywhere. with all of it over social media.
Hey,
It's not
Ginger.
about how you look, it's also about how popular you are. It's all a fucking massive popularity contest, and it's not just within the confines of your high school or something now, bro. It's on a
Yeah.
fucking massive level. Like, uh, how many followers have you got on TikTok? How many followers you got on IG? And all the
Yeah.
teenagers are competing with each other, and it's the amount of pressure that they're putting on themselves socially, and they've got their educational needs, and then all the changes of their body. It's a lot. It's a fucking lot.
Yeah, so that's some serious competition. So they got it bad. Shoot, that's a lot of stress on them.
Mm.
Shoot, I kind of feel bad for them when they
And
should.
that's why I removed my kiddo from that sort of like pressurized environment, you see. And I was like, let's like wind it back in time, homeschool him. I got rid of the television, old
Oh,
fashioned rearing, less complicated, no peer pressure until he was a lot later in life and ready to tackle that shit 'cause he knew who the fuck he was. You know what I mean?
yeah, huh?
And I think that's what's important. It's about knowing who the fuck you are before you start mixing with others. And that's the trouble is like most kids don't know who the fuck they are because they're developing with these other kids with all these pressures,
Yeah,
and the influence of them.
yeah. I made that mistake when I was in high school. But then again, I think the thing was off with me because like at the end of the '90s, I moved to a different area. I ain't want to know nobody, want to be around with nobody. When I decided to interact with most people, shoot, I kind of took things out of proportion. I was kind of late to the party and all that stuff. But I was trying too hard. Well, actually, I got gained my popularity at the end, my last year in junior high. But when I went to high school, I had to start over with that shit. I went shit in high school and all that stuff. But I was good to people, but most of them weren't good to me. So
Yeah. You see, I wasn't a try. I was always cool with everyone. Like I was like in a weird place, really, like in like this kind of group of friends, like that all like somewhere in the middle almost. It's like and like all the popular kids spoke to me. You know what I mean? And I hung out with a few of them. But then
yeah,
I'd also like I had a little penchant for like sticking up for the underdog, right?
yeah,
So that was kind of my thing. So even my group of friends would roll their fucking eyes at me. Because like
yeah,
there would be like kids in the school, like ones that are epileptic or big ginger frizzy hair and buck toothed and all kinds of things and you
yeah,
know what I mean? And all these kids would get avoided, and I'd be like, "No," like I'd shout out, "Hey, Claire, come sit by us" or something, and my friends would all look at me and be like tutting and rolling their eyes at me, "What you doing?" And I'd be like, "Leave her alone, she's all right," you know.
yeah. But
So I'd invite whoever wouldn't like no one would sit with to our group, like. But like, yeah,
you
I
know
was
what I
still
mean, Ginger?
all the other popular, like I was somewhere in the middle. I just fucked with everyone, you know. It's like, yeah, whatever. I don't play by
Yeah.
your rules.
Uh-huh. But me, yeah, I think some of it was my fault because I was trying too hard. Like, not that I didn't like my current friends. I was trying to hang with the cool kids too and all that stuff. Most of them was shitty and all that stuff. But
Yeah, right, ginger bellas.
yeah,
See, yes, always stuck up for the little guy, but
yeah, that's
not
us.
just that. It wasn't just that. Like I didn't stick up for them. Like when there was a situation down the hallway because they was getting bullied.
Yeah,
Though I did do that many times. The only
yeah,
times I would end up in a fight was because I'd stick up for somebody like that. But it'd
yeah,
also be a case of I'd welcome them in, and then before you know it, like a couple of my friends would start inviting them as well. It
yeah,
wouldn't take long to go, "What's the fucking wrong with you? Why are you being, like, so judgy or whatnot?" And then I'd pull them
yeah.
apart in front of everyone until they feel like they're this big, and I'll be like, "Leave them alone, they're fine."
Know what? But
So,
yeah, but mm-hmm.
it only takes, like, a snowball effect, if you know what I mean,
Yeah,
and people do follow others. So you've only gotta be brave enough to be the one that says, "Follow me, I'm gonna do this, and this is
yeah,
happening," you
yeah.
know?
A few of them either done that for me ever.
And that's the sort of person I am. So I guess that's why I fuck with everyone now in a way. Like I'm not judgy. I'm not selective in that way. It's like because it's like I give everyone breathing space.
I remember, like, I got something to say. Yeah, some of them were like some of the cool kids. They was folk that was good to me. Some of them were athletes and all that stuff. They went to the same churches, me and my family. So I had friends in higher places. Some, so that's how I was able to go to football games and basketball games. Some people ask me, "What you doing in here? I never expected to see you here." All this stuff. Then, I had my own little crew and all that stuff and still, but still. No, what? Then there's some people I talk to this day. I went to high school with that I never talked to. Not that we didn't dislike each other or anything. They're like going to certain places like bars or brought us together. Even jobs, though, I don't allow people at my jobs to hang out at my house with me. They kind of brought us closer too. But for the rest of them that didn't like me at my worst, they try to be my friend today, and I say, "You don't deserve me right now." I'm like, "Why are you trying to give me my flowers now? You're a fraud to me."
Yeah,
You,
I know what you mean. I don't really have many of
oh
those, to be honest, but I do know what you mean. They're like, Johnny come latelys.
yeah, because after school, like nobody like doing like around Christmas times and Valentine's, nobody got me shit. Probably except one person. And after high school, nobody. Well, I don't have a Facebook, but it was a MySpace before that. Nobody. Most of them didn't send me no friend requests. Nobody accepted my request. None of them. Shoot. And then nobody sent. Well, not that I cared about this next thing I'm about to say. Nobody sent me an invitation for the high school reunion, but I wasn't gonna go anyways.
Yeah, I don't do that sort of shit or whatnot.
No,
The
like
closest
that.
I came to a high school reunion was a friend's wedding, like an old
Yeah,
school friend's wedding. She managed to get in contact with me via my brother on his Facebook, and she found him. And then my brother got hold of me and was like, "Hey, this person's trying to find you. They want to invite you to the wedding." And they were my best friend for all of my school years, And I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
cool." Something. Got in contact with her, went to her wedding and the reception as well. It was a cool thing. But I met a ton of people from school that I haven't seen. I hadn't seen like in 20 years.
Mm,
It was crazy as fuck. And yeah, I don't know if I liked the experience in all honesty. It kind of freaked me out. The fact
mhm,
that majority of them hadn't altered was the scary thing to me. That the majority of them still lived in a similar area or not moved very far at all. A lot of them hadn't progressed with their lives. A lot of them still had the same mentality. It was like meeting them again when they were 16. I was like, fuck, you're the same person. And the one thing that I remember is that they all turned around and said how vastly different I was and how I'd altered. And I took that as a compliment because I was like, well, that means that I've progressed in my life. That means that I've altered in many different ways and vastly, whereas you all seem like the same people. To me, that seems a scarier thing.
mhm. Then Noah, I had this little on two girls in one chat last week. I had said this same thing, talk about the same thing. Some people was in the panel. A guy named Exile, the Exile one, his wife had joined in on this end and then asked me, hey, thank you, Ginger, but she had asked me, all right,
Oh,
about them giving me my flowers and all this stuff. Have you ever thought of it like this? Maybe they was different people back then, and maybe they matured and thought this is stuff they should have thought better of you. Have you ever thought about that? Yeah, she was trying to get me to see things from a positive perspective and all that stuff. I said, well, my mind
was
hasn't
it
changed.
Punky that was trying to get you to see it from a positive?
Yeah, exile wants
I
white
knew
bed
it was
though.
fucking Punk. How did I know it was Punk? Because that's Punk for you. She will always take care of every situation and do that. And that's why I love her. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's my
yeah,
girl. Punk's my girl forever and a day.
oh,
I've known her
yeah,
for years,
yeah.
and
Yeah, I like her. She's cool. Stacy's cool too, but exile was
I
white.
don't really know Facey that well, in all honesty. But Punky, I know well, and yeah, she's good as gold, and her heart is pure.
Yeah. Then yeah, but exile was his wife had asked me all that, and I had said my decision still stands for like I told you. almost 3 months ago back in May. Like I would have went to the high school reunion in a heartbeat if I kept the same friends I had in the '90s, because those people was cool as fuck. But I know we was like my mom. I talked to my mom about it some of the time. She said, "Know what? Y'all were younger back then. Y'all were little bitty kids. Y'all didn't know any better. Hey, a 7 and 8 year old should know by this point who was good for them and who's not."
No, I believe that. I believe that you start getting your moral compass even by the age of 2, 3, you start getting awareness. You start getting levels of empathy for other living creatures and beings. You know your little bubble pops that you're not just the center of the universe by the time that you're creeping into the age of 3.
Yeah, but by the time we was like turning 9 and 10 and 11, we was
And
maturing.
seriously, I do believe that, like, guided correctly and from a young age, this is why I say the formative years are so important. You know, it's why I knew that, like, my kiddo was sharp as fuck. That I didn't really need to give him too much instruction. That a slight inclination of the head would be enough for him, because his one thing in life was to please me. And if
Mm,
I wasn't pleased, that would like make his little world crash in, right? And when you're very young, your parent, your most beloved parent is your all, your everything. And all you want to
mm,
do is like be pleased and see them happy with you and make you happy. And you know that the minute that your parent is not happy with you is the minute you're not happy. It's reflective, right? So that's all they need, and then you start wielding their little moral compass from there onwards, and letting them know that they make their own decisions, that they wield that power, and if they look at you and you can even let them answer their own questions, and you say, "What do you think you should do? Do you think you should be doing that?" Make them
yeah,
question their own stuff.
yeah,
You
give
know,
them a conscience.
put the onus on them in that sense to question their own self-awareness, because they've got all the answers in their little heart. They have. You just got to like let them know that they've got to trust it.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
that's
but
what I totally believe, because that's what I did with my kiddo. And like I said, and I'm not even. I know we all are biased towards our own kids or whatnot, but honestly, like I've had many people all over the years like compliment me on him and his behaviour, and he's won God knows how many certificates, awards, this, that, and the other, and because he is that good, I'm so lucky that he's a little angel. But I
mm-mm,
think a lot of that is because I laid it at his own feet, you know, in the
mm,
sense of, look, you can do all of these fun things. It's the same with his education, the fact that he's homeschooled and whatnot. Like I would gather all the stuff and set out all of the tasks and worksheets and things that we was doing that day, and but I would make him responsible for it and say, right, that's your work for the day, and it's up to you how quickly you go through it, what you start with, what you go back to. You can do it all in your own time frame. But the earlier you get it done, the more chance you got of doing this, or this, and like
yeah,
fun
yeah.
activities.
The sooner you'll
Uh,
succeed. But I had those tools and I had a chance, but I felt that due to listening to other people.
but I think you do that morally as well with kids. I think you should do that morally, not just with other things, not just like with chores around the house. Whereas parents are so concerned with, oh, these are your list of chores on the rota, rather than actually, hey, if you do this stuff, the building blocks from a real young age, all the other stuff comes real easy. I don't
Yeah,
have to tell him to clean his room. I don't have to put a rotor on the table. You know, if I start doing fucking housework, like chores around the house, and I'm dragging things out or moving things, or my kiddo will come rushing from his bedroom, going, "What you doing?" And I'll go, "Oh, I'm just moving. Well, I'll do that. I'll pitch in. What do you need doing?" That's the way he's been, because I don't put that. I don't make him, because he
yeah.
already knows what the right thing is to do.
Uh-huh. No, yeah, but you did right. You did right, and he's doing right. He did better than I did. 'Cause,
Yeah, I think it's about trust. It's about, and even when he was little, do you know I didn't have, do you know, like a lot of parents have those like wrist straps for their little toddler or the baby reins where they have them in that harness sort of thing so they don't walk away from them?
No,
I
I
didn't
never.
do that. And he liked to, like, some kids will hold your hand for a long while, and he didn't really like to do that too much. He would, like, if I was crossing the street, give me a hand sort of thing, and he'd
Yeah,
cross the
yeah, I
street.
didn't. Yeah,
But when he's
yeah.
walking side by me, I'd be like, look, this is the rule. You get total freedom. Don't go out my sight. Don't go to the curb. Don't go into the road. These sort of things. And if you
Yeah.
do all that, you get all the freedom, and I don't have to put any wrist strap on you or hold your hand or anything. And that was the only rule. So I never had all those things because it was like there's the trust for you, and the minute you break the trust is the minute your freedom goes.
Exactly.
It's like I believe like give them all of it and take it away if you need to, but don't start on the place of nothing and they have to earn it. Like I feel like it's the other way you should do it.
Hmm. Yeah, but yeah, and then, yeah, yeah, and I think you did played your cards pretty well with it, because you had, yeah, like you said, you was giving Miss Freedom and told him how it works and all this stuff, and then you weren't being his friend with it, and
Yeah, like there
then,
was a couple of times where he tested it, like little toddlers will, and he went a little bit too far or a little bit close to the road, and go to him, hey, like this. I'd go like, do you want me to get the wrist strap out my bag and I have to put that on you now? And he'd be like, no, mama, like that. And I go, well, remember that you get as much freedom as you want, but you got to do the things that I need. Okay, mama. And would never do it again, sort of thing. And it's like, fuck. And the funny thing is, right? I never even had a fucking wrist strap in my bag. Never once did I have
going
to
on,
have
TC.
because I didn't need it. So I didn't.
Yeah, compare this part of the newer generation. Like he's one of the few, one in the one out of the 10%, the 1% out of the 10% that's decent, that's decentness in this
I think
generation.
it has a lot to do with the fact that I did do the old-fashioned thing. He grew up on like not only because of homeschooling, but I got rid of the television. All that influence and like culture and peer pressure and advertising and what you need in this life and all of that bollocks. And it was like, no, he um he grew up with a lot of playing and a lot of music and reading and all of those things. And yeah, we had computers and he could
Yeah.
watch things here and there, like when I allowed, but it wasn't like a constant stream in the house of like having the television on.
Uh, but yeah, I think you did the right thing by getting rid of television, because one of the time when he was coming up, television became trashy at that time.
Yeah, well, it was partly because I decided to homeschool him, and I was like, that's going to be a distraction. Like, a lot of kids have the TV on at all hours of the day, whether they're in the bloody room or not. And I was like, I can't have that. If I'm going to homeschool him, it's going to be a constant distraction, with kids. And I was
Yeah,
like, but I pretty much decided, like, whilst I was pregnant with him, I got rid of the television because I was like, I don't want him. Imagine, like, you've been born into this world and the first thing you hear is horrible, trashy, like abrasive shouting advertisements from the TV. Buy this, buy that, half off. And I just thought, oh, what a horrible entrance into the world. I was like, no, I want it all calm and music and nice things. You know, and that's how it was. That's the environment I created for him.
oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I think that's how it worked with him. How he's a good boy.
Right, and they say music like affects the brain waves as well, like
Yeah,
especially from a young age. I read into all these things, and it was like,
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah. It
games,
depends on what type of music it is.
like, all kinds of music. I remember being pregnant with him and putting my belly to the speaker one day, and he kicked. He
He
still loves me now.
must have been a bad song.
I think this is why he named our cat Hendrix. He's a he loves Jimi Hendrix, that's his favorite, and that's why our cat is named Hendrix.
Hendrix. Well,
Mhm.
but yeah, but our parents shouldn't have had nothing to worry about because in the long run, they know they did right after seeing how me and my brother and our friends carried ourselves over the years. Well, some of our friends, like we know the dudes, adults around the world and all that stuff. Like when the time back in 2015, I was too intoxicated to go home by myself. I called him to get me,
Mhm.
and then he thought to himself, "Yes, I did a good job. He knows what to do." Yeah, but I know what because at first I was the bad boy. Then my brother he took on that role. My little brother being yeah, especially in this high school years, being part of that football team. He was cocky as shit. All that stuff.
Yeah, I think the,
But he still had a moral high ground though. Then when he
the
got sent off to
younger one
school,
is slightly cockier because I've seen the older one do it all, and they
yeah,
like,
I,
take a leaf out of their book and then do it better.
yeah, that's exactly what my brother did. Because
Mhm.
like in my early years, before I was 10, when I was in elementary, the first and second grade, and third grade, even, I was fucking ruthless as shit. And I know it's hard for most of you people that's listening right here, including you, to imagine due to my personality. That's hard for you to imagine. I said this to the one lady one time on here. She says, "Oh, I can't believe you did that." Yeah,
I can imagine all kinds of, because I know as human beings we're very diverse. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And it's certain situations and certain elements in our life that drive us in different directions.
yeah. Yeah, I had learned to chill out earlier, but yeah, I did. I do it more than ever these days, these last few years. But,
I think it's
but
good.
yeah,
I think people should mellow out as they get older. If they don't, and there's something fucking wrong with them, because it means that they haven't attained wisdom. Because you'll find that the wisest person, is usually very calm, very serene, because they have that wisdom in their back pocket. So those that are manic, erratic, unhinged, all kinds of things that unstable to some degree, it displays to you that they haven't mellowed, that they haven't gathered their wisdom as yet.
yeah, and that's that. Yeah, because like I had this high school friend, like almost a decade ago, when I started one of my old jobs, he was still the same, and he started turning into a dick to me because I was the same person I was in high school. But yeah, like you said a few months ago, like he was comfortable with that version of me. He just still never grew up because he just wanted those days back. Like I said, because that was the best. Yeah, that's usually for us, for the human race as a whole. That's the best time of our life, supposedly, but not mine, due to obvious reasons what I stated. Because
Yeah, yeah,
you still had that freedom and all that stuff, and you was able to do more as the years went by, like drive a car and all that stuff, go to bowling alleys and hang out and shit, and then have a house party when mom and dad goes out of town or go somewhere else, but they got to be out of here like before they get home.
yeah, yeah. All that shit started for me when I moved out. I moved out when I was 17, and then I started like, right, because I was earning a big wage from a young age, and I got all these qualifications, and then I started working in these big like corporations, huge salary. I moved up the corporate ladder really fast, and I
Yeah,
was working very close to central London, and yeah, I had too much money and too much, not enough common sense, all of that, and partying lifestyle and throwing house parties, all kinds of shit.
yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't wait to leave home because I couldn't have done that whilst I was at home. I think that's why. Yeah, 17, and my brother was the opposite to me. My brother didn't move out until my mum sold the fucking house and like bought another place, and he was 34 by the time.
But I remember this one thing I always wanted to do when I was still in high school, but never got to do it. I was most definitely would have did it if I still had my same friends from the nights. But despite me not liking many people back in my last few years in high school, like the few friends that I had and my brother had, I say I go get my crew, you get your crew, and convince mom and dad to take a vacation for the weekend. Hello,
Right.
James.
Go,
Yeah, then
come
we
on
have
holiday.
that house party.
You look tired. Go have a break.
Yeah, y'all should be tired from racist. Like me, my brother, and my almost a year departed deceased dog. We gonna hold it down. So, we gonna hold it down for the weekend. I know I'm in a different area where the police don't play, but I'm gonna try
Yeah,
to
so
keep that
we
to a
used to do
minimum.
this thing. We just all used to. So like when I was younger,
Yeah,
like 15 kind of thing, and just doing stuff I shouldn't be doing and hanging
yeah.
out at places I shouldn't be hanging out. We just all used to do this thing. So I would say to my mum, I'm staying at Michelle's for the night. Michelle would say that she's staying at Kirsty's for the night. Kirsty would say she's staying at Nicola's for the night. And it would go on and on like that.
Yeah, yeah. I
We'd
want.
all be saying that we're staying at each other's nights and places, and none of us was staying at anyone's. We'd all just stay out all night, and we'd go to nightclubs and all kinds of things till
Uh,
3 in the morning, and yeah,
uh,
crazy
that
shit.
y'all
I
have to make fake IDs.
young as well, like seriously doing that shit.
Hey,
A
that
few
y'all
years
make
ago,
fake.
you're legally
Uh,
meant to be drinking even.
yeah, that y'all have to make fake IDs. Where y'all at from?
Um, well, a couple of my friends didn't because they kind of like they got away with it, 15-year-old girls with a bit of makeup, you kind of can get away with being 18. And over here in this country, 18 is the legal age for drink, right? Not
Yeah,
21.
yeah. They
So
changed it
you
over
get
here.
into the nightclubs. And then there's a couple of people, if they couldn't or whatnot, like a couple people had like older sisters and had driver's license. And in those days, the driver's license didn't have your photo on it. It was just a printed document, right?
Mm,
So you could
yeah.
literally just show the printed document, and if you remembered the date of birth, you'd be like, oh, because the bodyguard at the door at the nightclub would be like, oh, show me your ID, and you'd hand over this driver's license, and they'd look at it and they go, what's your date of birth? And you just have to recite it, and they'd be like, okay, and hand it back to you.
Uh, but yeah. But when I wanted to do that, wish I did that house party. Uh, yeah, like y'all mom and dad, y'all go out of town, go somewhere for the weekend. Me, my brother, the dog will hold it down. Then we'll keep shit to a minimum. Because like I said, the police in that last area that I live in, my last year in high school, they don't play. So know what? So no alcohol. We'll just listen to music, have some sodas and all. I don't know if I can muster some free food for 'em, but yeah, none of that illegal shit for us around. I just keep to a minimum. Just, but we was hoping like that we move into that. My senior year, we had moved into a new
The
house.
laws in
And
this country for alcohol is weird as well because, like, there's old fashioned English laws, right? That if you're, like, so as long as you're not sold alcohol, so like let's say if you go to a nightclub and you're 18, you have to be 18, right? And back in those days they weren't as strict with it, but there's also other loopholes. So you can drink within a parent's house or a
uh-huh.
guardian or something like that. Like you can even take a kid into a pub like for a certain age and you can like order them a shandy, which is like beer and lemonade mixed together, right?
Mhm.
As long as they're in parental company. And the oldest law in this country that's still in existence, it's an old law that goes back to the Middle Ages, no fucking lie, right? That
Yeah.
within your parents' company, now nobody takes advantage of this law because it would be ethically wrong, but it still exists, this law, that children from the age of 5 onwards can drink legally in this
Five
country.
on.
Yeah,
Five
from 5
on.
upwards, right? With parental consent and within the parental like company. So if
Yeah.
the parent's
Yeah.
there
That's it.
and says, "Oh yeah, you can have a fucking yeah," like they can. And the reason why that law exists, it goes back to the Middle Ages, is because where there wasn't clean water, there wasn't a clean water supply, and it's when like there was no sewage system, there was no drinking water, and like back in the Middle Ages, in like the midst of England and London and things, like everyone was drinking gin and distilled like liquor sort of thing because there
Wow.
was no right. So everyone was on the gin, right? And yeah, you can look it up in history even. It was called
Yeah.
Mother's Ruin even because women that couldn't get abortions back then, obviously in the Middle Ages, they would drink a load of gin. And it was also called Mother's Ruin because of that reason.
Mm.
So yeah, all these old laws though are still in existence in England. So how weird is that? So and you think about the legality of America, you have to be 21, yet you can vote, right? You can
Mm.
drive. You can even have another child. You can have a child, raise another child in America, but you have to be legally 21 to take a sip of alcohol.
Uh-huh.
Strange, right?
Yeah, like Gio said, gin and juice. One
Yo,
of my
Leo.
favorites. But yeah, but I always want to hear those parts. But that's something. Maybe I can see that in the next lifetime if there is any. I told my mom that recently that I wish I could have did that. She was not happy about that. Then she said, "No, what you plan to having a house party with me and your dad here?" I'm like, "No." Then her husband said, "No." What I'm saying, what he was saying, what I was saying. No, you and your Dan husband, which is my dad, y'all take a vacation, and me, Scotty, my brother, and the dog take it over, and we had that house party. I wish we did that shit. That's something I should have had on my bucket list, and that was
Yeah,
never to
see, I
be.
think the fact is that because I left home at 17 and I was already like working, had a high paid job, was paying for my own rent bills, and I was living with my friend Rachel, and she was a couple years older than me. She was 23 and I was 17. And yeah, we started throwing massive house parties. I remember having bands playing in the house. We had this big 3-story
Wow.
Victorian house with all wooden flooring throughout it. We had spare bedrooms even because me and her just rented the big house by ourselves. And yeah, I remember having house parties. We had DJs there. We had a band there before.
Ooh,
I remember them
ooh,
getting cleaning fluid, like bathroom cleaning fluid for the toilet, like the
yeah.
toilet duct kind of thing. And like one of the bands writing the band name, the Strand, up our hallway wall, like up the staircase.
Well, you had the whole 9 yards pretty much. 'Cause
And
with the house parties I've been to, we never pulled that off.
like pick a mix sweets, you have those like kind of pick a mix, like the penny sweets kind of thing.
Hmm.
For one party, we bought like huge punch bowls of these like penny sweets and all kinds of things, and we just put all these things out like a big like kids party, but on steroids. You know what I mean? It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, there wasn't proper food at the party. We literally opened up bags of like chips and like little sweets, and it was like a fucking little kiddies party, but for like teenagers, like, and we went mad. And I
Yeah.
remember probably for a year in that place, like me and Rachel would clean that place like often, and we would
Yeah.
still find penny sweets every fucking time we cleaned for a year. We would be like sweeping or hoovering or moving furniture, and we'd be like, "There's another fucking penny sweet." And we'd be like, "How are they still turning up? These sweets everywhere, all over the house." They were.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think anybody with in my generation did a house party, so I really should have nothing to be ashamed of. But that's something that I want to do. I want to be the only one that did pull that off, because then nobody else do it. But anyways, everyone was just going to clubs, like clubs, and all this
Mm.
stuff and all this stuff. They had advertising sports and all this stuff. But I really didn't go to a house party until like I was older, because it's a person from another generation.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like a few years by junior and all that stuff. We was doing that stuff. But yeah, we had so many damn good memories there and all this shit. I even celebrated a birthday there too. New Year's parties and all that stuff. 80
Jesus,
the 80s were the
Leo.
best parties ever. I believe you, Leo.
Leo, the 80s were the best part is Jesus.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't like Brian is younger than me, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
I was born in 87, so
there you go. And I was born in 80, right?
yeah,
So
so yeah.
yeah, we were
You know
like
what?
young.
Yeah. Well, I
We were
think the 70s had it better. The 70s had it better because they ain't have to worry about no diseases or anything since they didn't have them.
I don't know. If I was going to pick a generation, it would probably be the 60s. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, when
yeah,
everybody was actually like trying to like reject all the systems and the government, and actually, I think they was onto something.
yeah. They was moving to different countries if they tried to draft them to go to the Vietnam or World War II or whatever.
Hmm.
But they shouldn't try to go back. They shouldn't go back to their country for any reason. If they did, they would have snagged their asses at any time. They probably would have been. They was probably waiting for these motherfuckers at the borders to come back. Shit, we captured it.
America's been involved in every single fucking war since World War Two. You know, because they make profit in war. War
I'm
does
like,
not
yeah,
War does not drain the country's resources. And the minute that America involved themselves in World War Two because of Pearl Harbor getting hit, that's the only reason that they
yeah,
decided to
yeah,
wade in
yeah. They
and
started. Yeah, they
right.
started that crap.
What
Yeah,
they did was because we had a lot of we'd been fighting it for years at this point.
yeah,
Our important thing was to get our men out of there safely from Germany once the war was over. America
yeah,
sent all their troops after World War Two and cleaned up, like in terms of all of the fucking royalties, all of the fucking goods, all of the wealth, all of the shit that Germany had acquired through the war.
uh,
Americans went in there and claimed it all.
yeah.
So
We did that.
America realized that they literally came in at like 5 minutes to midnight at the end of World War Two, right? Claimed some sort of victory for it, like they'd fought it all by themselves now. And then because we was like, let's get our men home to the fucking wives that have been fighting for years, America was like, well, fuck this shit. We'll ransack the place.
Yeah, but yeah. Back to what I
And
said when
the German people, it's actually an atrocity that's not spoken of because the German people are seen as the villains in that time, you know.
yeah,
But a lot of them weren't. A lot of them were just civilians that had to go along with the fucking system that was in place, like
yeah,
any fucking dictatorship, right?
yeah,
So, and a lot of those poor fucking Germans were left not only like with now all of the gold, all of the wealth, all of the like anything that they had, you know, from the family, their jewelry, whatever, everything stripped off them. They were left in poverty. They were left absolutely for years. It took Germany, God knows how long, to even recover, to get back up on their knees again. And it was because, like, and that's when America learned that they could really make a killing during war. All they had to do was go into countries and fucking strip them of the wealth or get what was like, you know, worthy over in that country, whether it be oils, whether it be fossil fuels, whether it be fucking gold, whatever it fucking is, and they can clean up. That's why they've been involved in every single war.
yeah. But I think yeah. Back to what I said. Like when they said 70s might be the best time ever when it was peace and all that stuff. Like rejecting the system. Yeah, but actually the 60s. But like I know 57 is when the Vietnam started. But it said when I said in the 70s, that was the
No,
best
it's in
time
the
ever because
60s, right? Bri.
oh yeah,
Vietnam was in the 60s.
yeah. I thought it's I know, but I thought it started in the at the end of the 50s. But like you said, it was in the 60s. But I heard it ended in 75. But as you said in the 70s, and I said in the 70s that they ain't have to worry about no diseases. I may be wrong. I because when it was over with, people came home and I heard I forget I don't know the accurate number, But I heard like thousands of people worldwide end up dying it from illness. So I could be wrong. So that's why they make us take a shot when we come into another country or certain countries, so we won't get sick off of it.
I know wars are corrupt.
Yeah. Noah, I said Noah. Like I'm glad the draft doesn't exist anymore. They can always reinstate it.
The
In
plans
my
for Vietnam, though, go back further than that because if you think about, like, so in the 50s you had JFK, right?
yeah,
And all the political movements there, like embargoes, all kinds of things were being moved around. Cuba, there was all kinds of shit going on, right? And
uh,
there's plans and designs to have another big war, you know, straight off the back of that. And it took like the 50s, and there was plans and talks of all of that shit. The Vietnam stuff started before that, like
yeah,
I think halfway through the 50s, there was already involvement in Vietnam. And it went throughout the 60s to I think it ended by like 71 or 72,
yeah,
you know? Um, but that was like the remainder, that was the pull-out kind of thing, that section of it. But yeah, pretty much for a fucking decade. But it was all planned, like around all that jostling around the
yeah,
JFK era and after the assassination.
yeah. But yeah, I remember. Yeah, heard in the '60s. Yeah, they was drafting people. That's when the draft was stated. Then I didn't know. Muhammad Ali said, "Fuck y'all, y'all ain't making me do shit." Cause he said, "Ain't no Vietnamese motherfucker ever called me the N word or raped me, my mom, or all that other stuff and murder me. You my enemy here in America." That's I
American
think we
politics, to me, American politics is far more interesting than any other world's politics, and that's
yeah.
the
So
truth. It's
he
more
took this 5 years.
even my own country's politics, you know what I mean? Because the more
Yeah,
legislate and our justice system isn't corrupt like your justice system is.
yeah,
So when you've got a funding of a justice system that works on a monetary basis, which is what your system does, you know, there is no justice. Our system works on the taxpayer and the system incurs all the costs. So
what
for
Leah
us,
said.
so for us, it doesn't serve us any sort of purpose to make one of our citizens guilty if they're not guilty. It actually costs the taxpayer and the system and the jails and all of that all the money. We don't ask for them to pay it all back like your citizens are meant to. Right?
Yeah,
When you get bail, even when you get out of jail, you've still got to fucking pay all that money back, right?
yeah,
And plus, you're made to work in your jails, right? So you can go out and
yeah,
pick fucking cabbages in the fields and things, right?
yeah,
Right. So the thing is, not only is your system corrupt because the justice is not there, because all the court systems, all of the everything, all the actual prisoner incurs all those costs, whereas in our country, the system swallows those costs. That's why it actually, if somebody is not guilty, we will find them not guilty because it's
mm,
actually cost effective for them not to be not guilty. So we don't want to make our citizens all fucking work slaves tied up in jails. See, this is the thing about America. Slavery never went away. It just changed its name.
yeah, yeah. It still exists everywhere, like the human
But that
trafficking and
is
all that stuff.
America's slavery. America's slavery's got more of its own citizens in the jail system than any other fucking country. And if you ask yourself why, it's because it's a money maker. And if you ask yourself why, it's because slavery still exists. It's the only way that they can get a workforce for cheap, right? By
Yeah,
enslaving their own people into crimes that they shouldn't half the time be put in prison for, right?
yeah,
For that reason alone. And this is why I say America just shifts the goalpost and it dupes its own citizens into thinking that it's all well and good now just because it rebranded something. But it still exists all beneath there, all beneath the dark surface. It's all lurking still.
yeah, yeah. That's scary. truth is scary when you
This is
dig that
why I
deep.
find American politics far more interesting than any other politics, and their systems more, and I guess
Yeah,
being married to an American for a good chunk of time, being with an American for 14 years. And yeah, I got to learn a lot about America, as well, and the way it all functions.
uh, yeah, yeah. We're the great. Well, sure, we may be the greatest, but we got our problems, and there's big ones. Like with all this paying back to the government and the FBI and all this stuff. Like,
Hmm.
no, I really don't like right now that our fucking groceries like it's costly.
Yeah, right, Leo.
Yeah, you
And
come
that
in
doesn't
broken, leave
me
me.
either. The fact is that a government is meant to be you govern for the people, not the people themselves. The governing of a country is to legislate the rules in place for the country itself so it runs smoothly, not a governing of the people. The people are the ones that hire the government to actually run the show for them, not for them to hire them, for them to actually turn around and order them around.
Yes, when you come to visit the states. Yeah,
And all these governments fucking forget that. The power of the people, right? Revolutions, all of these things, they've existed throughout history for what rhyme and reason when people were oppressed to such a level that they're dictated to, that they've got no choice now but to comply with the system that was meant to be in favour for them.
uh, uh, but hey, yeah, but like, well, yeah,
I don't know,
everyone,
Leo. I don't know. It's been a while since I have, and I don't know. It costs a fair bit of money for me to get over there, in all honesty.
yeah, because me at the end of this year, I'm trying to visit other countries. I want to visit other countries, me and my crew and all this stuff. I said I want to make a trip to Canada or Japan, both of them really.
I
Because
really want to go to Japan. I mean, you talked about that before, right? My love
yeah,
of
I think
Japan.
so.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Two of my favorite authors are Japanese, Haruki Murakami and Banana Yoshimoto. My two favorite authors.
Yeah,
And reading their books that's made me want to go to Japan because I want to be in the scenes that they talk of in the books, and I want to place myself down the streets that they speak of and the foods that they speak of, and they paint such beautiful scenes in these particular novels, and they're really obscure novels that I don't even know what genre you put them in because they're so unusual. They're like a stream of consciousness in Japan, and
yeah,
bizarre elements thrown into it. But yeah, it's that sort of like curiosity that's fed my wanting to go to Japan is
Lord.
those two particular novelists.
Yeah, I had a co-host on my old live stream decade ago. He's a brother like myself. He lived in Japan for a long time. Ended up
Mm,
finding a wife there, had a kid with her. So he lived there for a while before he came back to the States and to Atlanta.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But
I would
yeah,
like to do both parts of Japan though. I'd like to do modern Japan. Like I'd go there for a couple of weeks maybe or so or whatever, but I'd split the trip either way. I would do half of it like in downtown, like all the fucking neon lights, the popular district. And then I would want to go to like, far out into rural Japan and experience like the historical sort of side of Japan and look at all the bonsais and the landscapes of Japan as well.
uh, but
Go see
yeah,
where I want to go see where the katana swords are made and stuff like that. And yeah,
mhm. Then I uh, but shoot, yeah, but yeah, I'm trying to visit different countries and all that stuff. My brother and his girlfriend, he's already been to Dubai and Jamaica and all that stuff. I'm like, shit. I'm like, y'all. Well, I'm like, y'all got some good ass yachts. We going those places. My brother even climb on top of a damn camel. He
I've
was
got
on
a
top.
friend that lives over in Dubai. Yeah, it's a nice place. He lived over there for the last 15 years. Like he moved over there for work, you know.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I would definitely go to some other. I also want to go to you know, Borneo
Uh,
because I want to like go see all the wild. Like Borneo's got a real like niche jungle there with certain animals that like it's got bonobos, you know, and it's got orangutans and things like that. And there's a place in Borneo where you can go and volunteer, like at the animal orphanages where they look after all the baby orangutans, and you can go volunteer there and be like you go look after the baby orangutans for a while, and like you act as like a mama orangutan to a baby sort of thing. And I'm like, that would be a cool trip. I would like to do because I like activities. I'm not one of these people that like wants to lay on a beach and cook myself, you know? I'm not that sort
yeah,
of person.
yeah, cause yeah, that's some shit I'm trying to complete before I leave this earth.
I want to
Go
do stuff
place.
that like it's got good memories, like shit that like wow, I remember like doing that shit, you know, like holding little orangutans and feeding them and playing with them and doing like weird shit, you know. I don't want to be like, oh, I was laying on the beach with a blue sky and an ocean and a cocktail in my hand. It's like no thanks.
Yeah, I like to do that as well. Cause it's been years since I've been to a beach, like 30 years.
I'm not into that sort of thing. I'm not into those sort of holidays.
But
I want
yeah,
to go achieve something on my holiday. Like, see, I'm very goal orientated. Like, I always like what I like. I want to double prong something. I don't just want to fucking rest on my laurels. I still want to do stuff.
yeah, yeah. You can, yeah, I can like chill at the beach and then go
Can
do
you
stuff.
imagine me just lazing around, Bri? You know, I barely fucking sleep. I fuel myself off of coffee. Can you imagine me being the sort of person that just wants to lay there in the sun? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know this gets boring being in the same place at the world at the
I'm like, I'd
same
rather
time.
go fucking climb a mountain or do something else. You know?
Yeah, I know where you come from. Being in one place all for a long time, that gets boring. So yeah, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, and I just like I get bored just doing nothing. Yeah, sure, I like reading and whatnot, but still, I don't want to cook myself in the sun.
Hey, what's going on, Exile? Hello to you and your beautiful wife.
Years old.
Shit, you want to come up, man? Come join us. But anyways, yeah, those are the things I want to do in this life before I leave. That's the thing I said I wanted to do. Like after all these tragedies started happening to me last year, like losing my
Hmm.
auntie, friends, and family members, and the dog and all that stuff. Shit, I need to get out. And then that's what I'm trying to get my old crew back together again. Like the crew that I had before COVID hit, it split most of us up. We got together like a few times again, like a few times, like 2 years ago. And then we barely saw each other again after that. Said we need to do this shit. Shit. Like a few years ago, we had plans to move into California, but after California's been getting shitty over the years.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
You know,
been getting shitty.
the state that would be, you know, one of the good states they say is like the most beautiful and underrated states,
Yeah.
right? And I looked
Uh,
into this as well because I was talking like when I was with my husband because I was like, I don't want to stay in Florida. It's like I'm not like some sort of like little lizard that likes to suck
oh
up the
yeah,
sun, right? I'm
I
pasty.
do not like alligators.
I'm like glow
I
in the
ain't trying.
dark fucking white, bri. It's like, and I don't take the sun very well, and my hair's down
Oh,
all the way down to my ass. My hair. It's like I get over hot real quick, you know. And it's like I wanted to move to a cooler state. I was like, I don't want to stay in Florida, and Florida sucks anyway. You
No,
know what?
yeah, and then that heat. No,
Um,
hey, let's say you have a bro, it's still gonna feel like you're wearing a sweater.
yeah, it does. No, that's exactly it. It feels like I'm wearing like a woody coat or something with my hair down. You know.
You know what? But like I always want to be and live in California. Like me and the old crew before, like back in
I tell you,
2017,
one of
me
the
and one
most
of the,
underrated states that's beautiful because I looked into all different places that I might like to live, and I was like, oh, Colorado seems nice. This place seems nice, and
yeah,
then I stumbled across Montana, and I was like, fuck, it's like so beautiful.
yeah, yeah, but we had this discussion to move to California in 2017. I said, you know what? All of us gonna have to move in the same house, find a big ass house, and split the bills. Like you pay this one, I pay this one, you pay this one, you pay that one, and all that other stuff. But other than that, I can't deal with that traffic. I hate that traffic.
Yeah, but California's got no fucking water, and it's half the time it's on fire, and
Oh man, yeah, the
you
forest
know,
fires.
it's
Yeah,
like for me, it's like I'm looking at fucking when I was looking at moving to different states and whatnot. I'm looking at like, you know, well, a place like that is not only beautiful, it's got like fucking tourist attractions, all kinds of things. It's got like good income because of that reason, because it is a tourist spot as well as, right? But you also
uh-huh.
got like you've got civilization next to wilderness, which and you've got so that means that you've always can tap into natural resources. So if the world fucking tips upside down on its axis, you've got like natural fucking mountain water. Yeah, you see where I was going with it?
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm thinking like if the world fucks up, that Montana would be a good state to move to.
Yeah, it's a boring. Yeah, you never hear much from Montana. So they might seem peaceful. You really don't hear much from them or nothing at all.
Yeah, but if you've got like running water and streams there, Leo, right? And you've got generators and you can do water power and all kinds of fucking things. There's all ways around it, and you set yourself up to be sustainable in a place like that where you're next to like civilization. It's a tourist state, and you've got the fucking wilderness at your door as well. It's like you've got
Yeah.
access to everything you could possibly want, and it's beautiful.
Hmm.
And it never gets itself mixed up in beef and grief and shit. You never hear any trouble about it. It's never causing friction. There's not all like political unrest there. It's just like it seems like it seems like a cool spot.
Uh-huh. But hopefully, hopefully everybody's there. When I say by everybody, like everybody from different walks of life. So, because I always had this concern and curiosity. I don't want nobody looking at me like I'm a space alien. It because I hear this story from truck drivers.
I
Like,
get that shit wherever I go anyway. And if I'm in America, I've only got to open my mouth and they're like, oh, you're the English girl sort of thing. And before you know it, it's like, yeah, sure, I'm the English girl now. You know what I mean? So,
uh,
and I've
good
got
on
like this
her.
long, super long, I don't know, I just cause fucking attention wherever I go. I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah, I don't like. I hear this story from truck drivers. Like, no, if they say that, if they look at me like I'm one of them, like a space alien, I'm just saying hello. My name is Brian. I come in peace.
Yeah, but I don't think you get that where when you got a place that is like used to tourists, you're used to all different walks of life.
Well, yeah.
That's the fortunate thing about going to a place like that, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's what I always think. Like with London, it's a tourist destination, right? But it's also heavily multicultural. So nobody
Yeah,
bats an eyelid at anyone. You could fucking be walking along the street, you know, looking like a businessman, and
that's
next to
true.
you be a fucking punk with a big Mohican, you know, and nobody looks differently at each other because everything just mixes with everyone.
Leo. And then, yeah, yeah, but like being the same old state, it gets boring and all that stuff. But see, but the state that I live close to. I don't live in the state, but I live close to another state, like Memphis. Yeah, that's another tourist attraction. Like
Yeah.
especially Beale Street.
And I think
All
when you
this,
go to places that like are used to tourists coming in from all different places, they're usually a bit
yeah.
more accepting those sort of places. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. But in this small little town I live in Arkansas, the people that the only time people from different cities and different states come in is because of that casino they got. I'm like, casinos are real popular around here, this area. I'm like, then like some nights it was hard for me to find a parking space when I used to go there. I'm like, I remember back in 2016, it took me an hour to find a parking space.
Hmm?
I'm like, shit. Yeah, I called one lady on the phone. She told me if I was you, I would have left an hour ago. But I had some
Yeah,
people to
that's
see.
helpful.
Yeah, I had some people to see that night and to hang out with. I'm like, shit, I can't park in this hotel nearby because I get my shit repoed and all that stuff. I'm like, damn, this shit sucks.
Nice one, Leo. I wish I could just like jump in the pool. That sounds good as fuck. I love
Yeah,
swimming. I
I
fucking
ain't
love
swimming
swimming. If I
for
was
the last.
Leo, like, because Leo lives in Arizona, right? So it's real hot there. And there's a swimming pool there. I can guarantee you I'd spend half my fucking life in that pool. Because one, I love swimming, and two, yeah, I'm not one for laying on the beach, but I do love being in the swimming pool.
No, the last time I went swimming was like on my 28th birthday in 2015. I was fully dressed and everything.
No, like when I was a kid, because I learned to swim real late in life. Like I was one of the last to learn how to swim. And then when I learned how to swim, I surpassed everyone. Like it
Oh,
became my sport. Weirdly, it was the last thing I learnt to do, and I succeeded at it so well when I did that I was brilliant at it. And I went on to do all my like lifeguarding, survival, all of the things. Like I went and did it all as far as you can go with it, and I entered competitions, all kinds of things. I love swimming. I used to spend all day at the pool when I was younger. That's how much, yeah. So if you give me hot weather and you're like, come lay at the beach or get in the swimming pool, I'm staying in the swimming pool. That's for sure.
yeah. I remember when like I used to swim a lot when I was a little kid because in the neighborhood that I lived in, we was all type of everything. All the stuff. This old kid, I think he had two bitches. I don't know. One was his wife. One had to be the girlfriend. I don't know. Probably another relative. He let us all kids come and swim, but you gotta be clean though. You can't be dirty.
Well, who does that?
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. Kids, you gotta be clean. Like, or you ain't swimming in my shit. I remember one kid was working on this bike, trying to come up with the excuse. I've been working on my bike. No, go back to your house and clean up, son. Yeah, I kind of almost felt bad for him, but still, you should have washed your hands. You can't hear. You heard the man.
Yeah, I don't fancy that.
Yeah, but yeah, that was the lick. Yeah, I missed those days sometimes.
I
But
remember
yeah,
being I remember being a kid on holiday in the Mediterranean with my grandmother. She took us away, and I would go down to like the big holiday resort. We was at like at this big hotel, and in the middle of the night, and they had all these pool lights around the pool, and I would get in the pool like in the middle of the night and be down there, and my brother would be like in the game area, like they got like all the entertainment for kids and all different bits and pieces. And he'd be running in there, and like my grandma would like come look at me and she'd be like, "Where's she gone?" sort of thing. And like it's the evening, like at this point it's daytime, like everybody's done all the pool stuff and all that sort of beachy stuff, you know what I mean? The sunshiny stuff. And then, like in the evening, they're doing all the entertainment. No, I'd be out in the pool, even at night.
Well, so yeah, you will be surprised if I had those host people off before they jumped in mine. But yeah, anyways, I remember one time. Yeah, when we was young, we used to be so excited about swimming, but one time we was disappointed we couldn't do it. Like back in '98, the spring of '98, we went to Alabama to space camp and all this shit. And the night we was at this hotel, and we couldn't swim in that damn because they ain't bringing the chemicals for it. So you know what we did? You know what? I almost fell backwards in that pool one time after the food. And so we ran around the hotel the whole night.
Oh,
Yeah,
Leo. You had to
yeah.
hose people off. That sounds suspicious. I've had to hose them off before they get in.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the thing I should have
No, you know what it is? It's because Leo
did.
works in construction, right? So I bet you it's a case of like some of his friends have been all like covered in shit, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, you can get in the pool, but let's hose that shit off you first." You know what I mean? So that kind of makes sense.
He must have worked in the steel mill. Or,
Yeah, he does. He works like on construction sites and stuff, and welding and all of that stuff.
but yeah, I remember that one trip we made in Alabama in '98. Like we ran around the hotel because we couldn't swim, so they had us going crazy doing shit that we weren't supposed to do. Like we was watching South Park, but they wouldn't let us watch that. Then we was watching Jerry Springer. They act the fool playing with the elevators and all this stuff. Not aware that elevators can be fucked up and stuck.
Oh, do you know
Oh,
what? You actually might like Leo's channel, Bri, and so might a few other people because I love Leo. Like me and him are good friends. But yeah, I tell you what he does do. Other like he does like these little work videos that he does whilst he's at work and stuff, little shorts. But the best thing that he does is that he sometimes does
mhm.
midget wrestling,
Yeah. Oh.
right?
Yeah.
And it's the best thing ever. Like he goes to these events when they're in town for for the midget wrestling, and they're really good. And even the commentator that like hosts the fucking event with all these midgets is really funny. Like it's a really entertaining thing. So like you should go to his channel, check out his like
Yeah, I should.
there was a couple of midget wrestling ones, and there'll probably be more in the future. But do you mind if I put it in the chat for everyone?
Yeah, you can do that. But yeah, speaking of wrestling events, I went to one last night and I was front row for that. I didn't mean to be front row, but they ain't have no change for my $20 bill. Say they told me you get a whole 20, what you got right now, for which the price of the front row seats is. Then you'll be front row. There it is, guys. So I was front row for
I've
that.
been to both times that Leo did the midget wrestling. I was like all for it. Leo knows because like the first one I love so much, and he brought the wrong cord to the recording, and he was having trouble, technical issues and whatnot. And then the next one he was like, "It's okay, Dev. I've made sure I've got the right cord this time," because I was like, "When's the next one happening?" I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, and I know that midget stuff be entertaining, especially if they be using weapons.
Yeah, check out the couple he's got on his channel. Yeah, and hopefully we'll have more in the future, Leo, if you're listening.
Yeah, but this one wrestling video I used to go to, this local wrestling that I used to go to, like it was fun, but no, but then again, it's nothing for me to worry about because it was in a different state and all this stuff up north from me and all this stuff. I heard that when they used to do some hardcore shit, even blading each other and shedding blood and all this stuff. I heard there's some controversy after it. It was a
Mm.
rumor that somebody ended up getting hepatitis C and
Oh,
HIV,
jeez.
all that stuff. Man, that shit scared me. I said, oh, that's in a different state. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The midgets don't tend to get bloody. It's more
Oh
entertaining than
yeah,
anything,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Not
One did at that event.
fans or anything either. It's like it's all just in good fun, and the commentators like roasting as well, and it's yeah, it's all just. It seems like a good time. Leo goes to the actual live event to record it, and he looks like he's having a fucking fun old time. If I was there, I would definitely go to it. That's for sure.
That stuff be entertaining. Like
Hmm.
I remember years ago, this midget, he was so bloodied up so badly. I felt bad for him, but I know that it's scripted, but still,
Yeah, they don't get like that. I've not seen any of them like that. Like this is all
yeah,
just. It really is like light entertainment.
yeah, but there ain't nothing but patents on their foreheads and all this stuff. So I'm
They've
like,
even got a like they've got a female midget wrestler, and she takes on some of the guys. It's funny as fuck.
uh-huh. Then but I remember like going to those shows are fun. Like when you're trying to boo the bad guy and all this stuff, you get into an argument with him, and then yeah, I did that to one guy, to a few of them actually, but my favorite one, like yeah, he just wanted to fight me. He told me, "You step in the ring, you so tough." Then I
Jesus.
remember the time after he won this match, I was gonna take a picture on Snapchat and then type something in and call him an asshole. He said, "Motherfucker, you want to take a picture? Take a picture of this." He mooned me. He flashed me, basically. And then
You'd
I
be
told him
lucky.
my ass looks better than
You're
yours.
lucky you're in the shins, Bry.
Yeah, you know what? Then he had tried to scare me with a box. He had picked up a box and tried to throw it at me. I, I admit he got me right there.
Oh
'Cause I
man.
kept aggravating him. He called my hair fake and all that stuff. Yeah, he's been seen on TV before because he was part of that TNA thing back
Yeah,
2
it's all
decades
part of the
ago.
thing, the taunting and this and that, and yeah, it's all part of the jinx, right? The
Yeah,
hijinks.
I shook his hand after this match. Said we was laughing and sharing and laugh together and all this stuff. Said I told him like you almost had me, man, that night. I reminded him of the same night on Instagram. On Instagram, I told him the same thing. Shit, you almost had me. No, I think they need to do a skit with the fans and all this stuff.
Yeah, right.
like,
Yeah, no, that would be fun. Yeah,
like back
like you
back when
sign
wrestling,
yourself up if you want to be part of that or something, right?
yeah, back in like '98, like when wrestling was popular. I remember in the WWF this song. I think I forgot what country it was, Saudi Arabia or something. It was this one wrestler who had a being like eat a worm and all that stuff for some money and all that stuff. Like swallow a worm and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Shoot, I don't know if I can pull that off. What's going on, shit show? Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, shit, sure.
Yeah, I met him over at Nola D's. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, I've run into shit show before in a few
Yeah,
different circles. I think
yeah.
maybe
I
even over
just
at
met him.
Huey's or something. Maybe I don't know somewhere.
Yeah, I just met him and subscribed to him.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I met him at D's like last Thursday or something. Wednesday
At
or
whose?
Thursday.
At whose place?
Noli D's. She said on
Oh,
the top of my cool kids list on my YouTube channel. Yeah, her name is Noli and then D double E. Yeah, she's a great lady, a solid lady. I like her. I believe she got a crush on me. Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie. I had a few women. I had a few women on here over the years hitting on me and all this stuff. And
yeah, well,
I tell them to
that's the way it goes.
keep it down,
You know
help
as
you out.
well, right? It's partially also. It's not just because you're a man, right? Because there's plenty of guys. It's because you're a nice guy. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So and so that's part of it. You're a nice guy, and women are attracted to that, and they're like, he's a nice chap, and they can hang in your company. It's an attractive quality, I guess, for a lot of women.
Yeah. Oh, oh, thought I felt something in my mouth. Felt, yeah, I'm eating soup right now. Felt something sharp. I spit it out. Felt like some damn wood.
I know. Maybe it's something like one of the vegetables got a little stalk on it or something that wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a red pepper. It kind of stuck me in my fucking throat and my tongue. I had to spit
Oh,
that
some of
shit.
those can be like almost like semi-what dehydrated, and it's like, yeah, like the skin on it, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I met Shit Show last week. He's a cool dude, solid dude, and all that stuff. Yeah, we told stories on that one lady's channel. Then that's why I ran the Exile one. This guy right here again on that channel. Then we was
Yeah, I
like,
know
hey, we
Exiled.
know
I
each
like
other.
hung out with Exiled as well, like over at Shifty's place.
I'm like, yeah. Uh, I'm like, we had a good talk and all this stuff till he decided to end it and all that stuff. It was my bedtime. I don't know about anybody else's. But I've been on Exile War for like a few months and all this stuff because I'm like I said, I bet him at Two Girls One Chat and all this stuff.
No, I know Exiled from over at Shifty. Shift Happens.
Uh-uh.
Oh,
Never
she's
met
lovely. Shift Happens. She's absolutely. Andy Cruz. Andy's podcast. Yeah.
Andy Cruz. I think I heard of it.
Yeah, like they're good friends as well. But yeah, like Shifty, yeah, I think has been over at Two Girls One Chat even. So she's
Yeah,
lovely.
when I met Exile, I thought he was a woman, but that was his wife on Kim talking.
Yeah, I know his wife is nice. She come up on our panel once. Exile did Andy's wife. She's a nice lady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she gave me that. Yeah, she gave me that prep talk, like I told you about the high school people and all this stuff. Well, some word, what not no
Hi,
prep talk,
Leo.
but you
You
know what
have a
I'm coming.
nice rest of your day as well, Leo.
Thank you for coming by, my friend. Always a pleasure to have all you motherfuckers here. Yeah. Now I'm like right now. I'm seeing who's going live right now. Get to a next topic. Anybody that we know of. I see my boy Blaze McCoy, Mimi Loves, Boss Lady Bird, and all this stuff, and JC as usual.
No, I'm good for JC. I'm good for that.
Yeah, I hope she's doing okay. I hope
That's
she's doing.
crazy over there. I don't go to places like that. It's absolute
Yeah,
mayhem.
yeah. I went there the other day.
I
I
went
think she.
one time and you can't even get a word in. It's
Oh yeah,
pointless. It's absolutely
yeah,
crazy. And
yeah,
she lets the patients take over the asylum.
yeah. She's too soft. I like her, but she's too soft. It's very few times she put her foot down.
She's not just
Then
soft. No, it's not just about softness.
she's
She
too
lets
nice.
you purposely go all on.
I don't. I'm like, yeah. Then
Do
sometimes,
you not know that if she gets a headache or can't be bothered to deal with it, she just mutes herself out and goes off and does like
yeah. Oh yeah,
turbulence.
she does. Yes,
Right.
yeah. And then
Yeah, so
sometimes,
I can't be on somebody's panel that doesn't even have the reins of their own shit. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? No,
yeah, yeah.
sorry.
But some of the times, that girl named Angie Fox, a black lady, she has to take her for her sometimes. Say, can y'all let JC talk? Yeah, she's another good woman. I like
Yeah,
her.
but it shouldn't be that way. The fact that you've got another person having to speak for you on your own panel means that you've lost control of your own shit.
And then, like when I jumped on last week and I was talking, a lot of them was doing it. Another woman named by the name of Jersey said, "Can y'all let Brian talk?" I'm like, I said, I see
It's
things ain't
pointless.
never changed.
Pointless. And when you have to fight tooth and nail to even try and get one word on a crazy panel, it's like, what the fuck's the point in being up on something like that?
No.
I
Oh
can't.
yeah,
It gives me a headache. I'm not
yeah,
into it. and they don't talk about anything good. They're all fucking crazy as fuck. Like I can't even keep up with it. It's
Yeah,
mad.
most of them face it's only a few decent people on here besides herself.
Yeah, but it's not worth
Yeah,
all the craziness just for a couple of decent people. It's not.
well, I got nothing bad to say about none of those people. Maybe except for one guy who rubbed me the wrong way last year. Me and another person, like we was talking about politics. He tried to get me to join his side of the politics. I said I don't care about it. He started getting disrespectful, so I blocked his ass. Yeah, and then one of the guys that usually show up on that panel, he exposed and said he's part of a secret racist group here on YouTube, but I don't care to learn about
I
this. I
can't.
don't care.
I've tried like all those like channels that like have the crazy stream yards and things, and most of the time it just gives me a fucking headache. And the rest of the time, none of them are talking sense. It's not a good conversation. It's like, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, yeah, that goes with her. Some of the board members, and then maybe sometimes Turd TV. I don't know if you heard about them.
No.
Yeah, yeah, about a guy by the name of Will I Am. He's a good guy. I go to bat for him and all this stuff. Uh, some of those guys, or maybe one, they be trying to rub me the wrong way, try to get me riled up and all this stuff. Like every time I come in, he'll say, "Oh, it's the N-word alert. It's this and that. It's this dumb motherfuckers here." Then he kind of say, "I got no feelings towards this person. He or she are just sensitive." No, we don't. It's a difference between sensitive and not tolerating no BS.
Correct. Correct.
But I remember at the earlier this year, like this girl, had a disagreement with this one lady over a comment that he highlighted that ran her off and all this stuff because people kept on aggravating her. But I think sometimes she overreacted due to the fact that some person asked her a question. But one time somebody said something disrespectful to her. He highlighted the comment, then she just jumped off. Then she made a video the next day saying this person that fault, that person said fault, and
Well,
then
they're
Will
all looking for
and
some weird attention, Brian. That's why I can't get down with it, man.
yeah,
I can't.
but
I know what it is
Will
on the tip. I know that like they're all doing this weird negative attention seeking, and I'm
yeah,
good.
that's what they do. But the next day, the other dude, the host of the panel, said, made a video. It's funny though. It's a funny video. He had me saying that at my job, and it was called "I'm Not Responsible." Look, said that's YouTube's job to take the comment down automatically, but you got to go back and take that shit down yourself. Like we explained this like a month ago. Like you have to ban some words off your
Yeah,
shit.
I can't be around all that stupidity. I'm good.
Yeah,
I
but
can't. I don't have the tolerance for it anymore. I've been
yeah,
around too much of it to take it
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, I've been here almost 16 years and I seen all that crap. I said, I
Right.
can't, I'm too old for
And
this
I'm
shit.
worn out on it now. Like, and I may look like I'm fucking, oh, she's harsh or whatever, but it's like, ah, I'm good actually, because when you've been around for a minute and you've seen all of it fucking go on, like, you soon realize what you don't want to deal with anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, he's not responsible. But that was my favorite say too. But you gotta know the territories you're going into. And I
Mm.
found some new people to go talk with. They're pretty cool people, more mature and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I'm saying. Like, have a decent conversation, have a proper discussion, you know, even if you don't have a particular topic in mind, like just have proper conversation, be fucking normal like this.
Yeah,
And all this over talking and shouting and attention seeking, I can't do that shit. I can't be around people like that.
yeah. Yeah, that's why I made that new ruling on my channel and all this stuff.
So I'd rather just like, oh, me and you, it's nice. We have a little chat. It's cool. There's, yeah, we dance around all different topics. We don't even know
Yeah,
what we're going to talk about most of the time. We've talked about all different things, real life things, internet things, whatever it is. Yeah. And it's just fucking easy with you, you know. It's like I don't want to go to somebody's channel and get a headache.
Oh yeah. So sometimes you'll laugh at it, but at the long run, it's crazy because you can get swooped into that stuff. And I ain't bringing it up anymore. I'm trying to be as peaceful as possible, and that's been working well. That and all the stalkers have went away, but one came back recently. And I was in another person's stream,
Mm,
but we're gonna continue not to acknowledge him.
exactly. Because that's what they want.
I'm like, yeah. I said, hey, yeah,
I
but
starve I starve them all of my attention. Those that want it the most never get it.
yeah, I make them matter. So yeah,
I
Mwah.
give the best. I give the chilliest cold shoulder that you will ever fucking see. It's like yeah, some sort of Arctic fucking shoulder. I'll give you back cold shoulder. You don't exist to me. You can re into the abyss. You can at me all day. You can try and cause a fucking furore. You can like tell 100 million fucking people about the situation. You can do all of this. But if I say I'm done with saying, "Oh, you don't get my attention, you don't get that glory from me," then that's the way it remains.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they'll go away soon as they come to that realization. Eh?
I don't breathe life into shit that I don't want to breathe life into. People should
Mm-hmm.
learn from that because they really don't understand that's how it's done. They don't understand that you don't, if you really like want to fucking hardcore go at a situation, the best thing you can do is tumbleweed that bitch.
Yeah, as far as the attention goes, speaking of that person, I heard him and his boyfriend broke up. But yeah,
You retain all your dignity. You retain every ounce of your fucking dignity, plus a little bit more with a fucking middle finger to say you're not worth my while. Have a fucking tumbleweed moment because that's where you will remain.
but yeah, he came back again recently. Him and his I don't his not his actual boyfriend, but his BFF actually broke up. They had a falling out. But I was on another person's panel, and another person that somebody else on that panel had asked, "What if it's a fake beef? Because something like this happened for attention." And I think, yeah, that's his only way of garnering attention. But you will never see it in me or you commenting on that shit anymore. They can have that crappy shit.
The best thing to do is like I don't even need to block a person. Like that block is there anyway. If like I in my mind, if I've like mentally blocked a person, like you don't exist to me no longer, right? Then they
Right.
could be in a chat and they could say all day. They could even at me or start some beef. But I will treat them like they're not even in the room, and I will still carry on chatting to everybody else, and it will drive them in fucking insane. And then like they'll start questioning the rest of the chat. Even am I blocked? Like why aren't they responding? And
Yeah,
then
that's
I
a
get
better way of
many
looking at
other
it.
people saying to you, "Do you have them blocked like this?" And I'm like, "No." And they don't know what the fuck's going on because it's like
Yeah,
they don't know how
yeah,
to deal with that. It's
yeah,
funnier. It's
they'll lose
funnier
their
than
minds. They'll lose their minds if something like
mm,
that happens.
you can drive a motherfucker insane with that shit because they don't understand it.
Then, yeah, that'd be funny though.
And that's how I work, right? You see, I always make a move that's not expected. My chessboard doesn't have a grid that the grid does. You know, I move outside the lines.
Uh huh. Yeah, but back to what I was saying, like me being the person that I am and all that stuff, and all these women complimenting me and all this stuff. Like
Mm.
it's great to have said they wish like it's safe to mention her name because she's not the bad spot with any of us names. Cassandra said We need guys more like you, unlike all the perverts and creeps around here.
That's what I'm saying. That like
Yeah,
that's the deal. And
like I got something. Yeah, and I had something to say. Yeah,
women really,
like
this is what I say about women. Like women don't really want that much. Like I know there's guys out there, and there's the incel type guys as well that really think that women are high maintenance and want all this, but they're looking in the wrong areas because most women are quite down to earth. Most women just want a decent fucking guy, you know, that's got a kind heart, a sense of humor, a bit of intelligence, you know, and that's it. It's that simple. Decent personality traits come before all the other shit. You know, it's not about looks so much for women. Even really, it's
yeah,
not. Like that is secondary to women because it's more about how secure you're going to make them feel. Like in terms of your personality traits. Like if they've got nothing to fear with you, then they automatically feel like this guy's really cool or whatnot. I could be around them for a long period of time and like chill, like, and not feel like worried. And women do worry. I think a lot of the time it's like a security element. If they feel secure with a man, then you know what I mean?
then, but yeah. When she said that to me, it kind of brought me back to the like 2 months ago when and over in the YTDC something. Yeah, though I don't know for why reason why Chad excuse me decided to bring him back in after he said this perverted shit to her. It's something that should be said and should be kept to itself. I'm like, yeah, because that guy was out of control when he came to my panel a few months ago. I had
Yeah, well,
another
a lot
book.
of guys would say a lot. I've had an awful lot of stuff said to me, stuff that would shock most people. I've said
I
anything and
like,
everything that could be
it was,
said to a woman. In fact, Bri, every
yeah,
derogatory thing that could ever be said to a woman has probably been said to me. You know,
yeah,
I've got real
yeah, but
thick skin though. Not all women deal with it as well.
yeah. Anyways, it was another lady that was on there with me. He kept on perving over her at her chest and all that stuff. She was cammed up. We told him to quit because she already has a man and all this stuff. He scared her off and all this stuff. You know what? So I removed this wrench. I didn't block him. I'm like, this guy's acting a fucking ass. So
Yeah,
she
it's a
started
dick
on stuff.
move. It's like you've never been around a female, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
think you know his name. Like he's on White Tupac's
Yeah, but it's
stream or
not
something.
that. It's like creepy vibes, fucking 1000, right? But it's also like,
Yeah,
yeah, fuck's sakes, you're a grown man. You're telling me you've never been around a woman? Like, fucking hell, what's wrong with you? Like, what, are you pouncing on women in the supermarket? What now?
like he kind of messed up my show with that shit. And I want
Yeah,
respect.
that's some filthy fucking cringe shit.
I'm like, yeah, then that girl's boyfriend, he was mad as fuck. I said, I wish I could stick his head through a damn center block. Cause I told him,
Yeah, maybe you should have kicked him a bit sooner though, Bri. Maybe
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
lesson there, man. I don't know why you
yeah,
let it go on so long.
yeah. I'll try giving that guy a chance over and over again. Cut it out.
No, I'm not like that. If somebody shows their fucking colours to you and they're up front with that shit, then you best believe them. Because, like, if that's how they're willing to come in hot like that, then they're only going to amp it up because you've already accepted it.
Yeah, so I said, for now he can go to my chat, but he's banned from the panel. I ain't letting him up ever again.
No, but, yeah. I would have cut that off a lot sooner because I wouldn't have had the other person feel that uncomfortable for that long.
Yeah, but she usually likes that stuff, but she has a guy and all that stuff. So, but he went out of
Yeah, but it
proportion.
depends because, like, women will joke around and flirt with people that they're familiar with because there's a level of comfortability because they know, like, the boundaries with that person. But when it's somebody that you don't know and they start coming in like that, most women don't like that
Yeah, that makes a whole lick of sense. It's
because
like
that's a different set. So even though that may be like she most of the time likes that sort of stuff, I bet you she'll do that stuff though with people that she mostly knows. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
yeah, it's kind of like horse playing and all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, because I do that with guys, and most of them are my mates, and I flirt with them hardcore, and they flirt back with me. And the reason why I can do it with them is because I'm not weirded out by them, because they know that it's all a joke and a laugh, and we're just like, fooling around and doing a bit of flirty shit. And it's people that actually believe it's genuine or want to genuinely flirt with you, or I don't know, that creep me out. So I
Yeah.
know as a woman that's what would have done it for her. Do you see?
Oh yeah, I used to do that shit too. Like it's a person, one of my greatest
And a lot of
supporters.
men don't get that though. A lot of men go, "Oh, she's a flirt, therefore she flirts with everyone." They don't understand that women still have to feel comfortable even to do that a lot of the time.
Mhm. But there was another person that was on here 12 years ago, one of my supporters and subscribers. I used to do that with her all the time. Like,
Hmm.
I used to check with her. She said, "No, you're just being silly. So you're
Yeah,
okay with me."
I've got several guys like that flirt with me, and I'll flirt with them, and then there's other people that I've got more of like, you look like we're just cool. You know what I mean? Like we don't like see gender. We're mates. Like me
Yeah,
and you. Like I say, yo, bro, you're my bro, right?
yeah,
So like it's a different dynamic. Me and you have never flirted, and we've got like a level of respect for each other. We have good conversations with each other. We enjoy each other's company, but it's like a different. You kind of set up your dynamic with your different friends, just depending how you roll with them in different ways. You know what I mean?
yeah. But I used to flirt with her and heard all this stuff. She'd be like to me, "Behave. You're getting the strike, you brat."
See me, where me and you never have, and I've always gone to you, yo, bro, bye, bro, like that, and you go, yo, little sis, and things like that to me and whatnot. It would be weird if me and you all of a sudden started flirting because the dynamic's not there already. Do you see what I'm saying? Whereas if we started
Yeah,
off like that, it's different. If you start off jovial like that, whereas me and you, like, we've got like, yeah, because we do have all different conversations. Sometimes we have a giggle and whatnot, but sometimes we have a few serious or in real life discussions and stuff that we just don't do that with each other. And it would be weird if one of us started now, you know?
yeah. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, shit, what a twist in this. But that, but if you like I said, if you was close by somebody, like nearby, and y'all started off like that differently, then maybe something changed. You started to like the motherfucker.
Yeah, and
'Cause,
it depends on like how you're hanging out. If you're hanging out, because obviously at this moment in time it's a public space, right? Whereas
uh,
if like me and you were chilling somewhere else, you know what I mean? It's different. Like it allows for a different breathing space, let's say, and you're on a different guard, or you have different conversation, or there's all different elements, right?
uh-huh. Then, but yeah, I admit that I used to like the girl and all that stuff because we had similarities like music and all that stuff. The recession was going on. We was two broke kids and all that stuff. Well, it was a crew of all of us, um, just more than the two of us and all that stuff. Then we even had changed phone numbers back then. Us, the whole crew, like through YouTube. Back when we used to DM each other on YouTube, we was exchanging messages and phone numbers and all this stuff, and calling each other and talking for a long time. Before it was a Google Hangouts, we used to Skype with each other and all that.
Yeah, it's weird. Some people you just get close to, or you just have different dynamics with, or you gel with them on a different level. And I think that's the beauty of it all. It reflects real life, right? Like your outside dynamics with your friends. You may have a group of friends, but each friendship with that group of friends is different with each one. You know what I mean? Certain people you gel with on different things, humor, other people you get along with because you're into the same thing. Other people not so much, but you kind of all right with each other. Yeah, there's all different blends.
Yeah. Then we were related pretty much the same and all that stuff. Shoot, yeah, yeah. But me being by myself and without a job around that time and shit, and depending on other people, yeah, no, like I started to like that girl, like her, but she didn't accept it because I couldn't go along with that because we came to an agreement. Hey, we live far away. She don't want to date nobody no far away. She didn't want to date nobody.
Yeah,
Period. Cause
yeah,
she was
I
trying to,
understand
she was
that.
trying to start her life over.
It's not just
Cause
that, but maybe if you've had a long distance relationship before or something, that kind of puts you off of doing it again. You know, things like that.
yeah,
There's other situations sometimes, you know,
yeah,
because that's like the case for me. Like,
yeah,
yeah, like with my marriage, even like that, doing all that long distance thing for the longest time, back and forth, and before like we was together, even it was a lot. And in all honesty, I don't think I would ever do that again. I don't think like that whole back and forth. Yeah, no, I'm good. Like for it going
yeah,
on for that length
yeah,
of time, it's too much. And if
yeah,
I ever did do a long distance relationship, it would have to be like agreed quite early on that there's going to be some move involved, that one of us is moving to the other, like quickly, not like
yeah.
fucking years down the line. And I'm not doing all that. No.
No,
Mm-mm.
yeah, but shoot, yeah, but yeah. The
Like I
reason
said,
why
you do one big serious long distance relationship maybe in
yeah,
your life, and then when you've done that, you don't really want to do that again. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, but yeah, she wanted to start her life over because she was trying to move to another country, try to move from the U.S. to Canada, and change everything about her. Maybe except her name, but her social security and all this stuff. Because
Yeah, and
she really
unless
hated,
you're
she
willing
hated
to do
most.
that with her, unless you was willing to go, yeah, I'm ready to move to Canada too, it's
Yeah,
futile, right?
yeah, yeah. I want. Yeah, I said if I could, I'd go to the States. Though I'd be alone because she didn't want no guy because she ain't had one in a long time because the last guy she had was abusive to her. She was a tiny girl, probably about my size or a little bit smaller than me. She was a tiny woman, but she was older than I was. So yeah, but all that flirting started to change because she was feeling insecure. She was so insecure and always in a bad mood for half of the time. So she had mood swings, but that never affected our friendship. But she had to give all this stuff up then. A guy in my community post, me and him spoke about her recently. Said we
Yeah,
wonder where
well,
she's
these
been.
things work out for the best, Brian. You'll find that like, though at the time you had certain feelings or whatnot, you know, down the line you got to realize that it may not have worked out, and there's all kinds of reasons, you know. And though you're saying, yeah, she had like mood swings and things and it didn't affect your friendship, it's different when you move the parameters to relationship and you're living with each other, and those things do affect you.
Yeah, but she was a great lady. We said that when me and the guy, our neutral friend, discussed this, like we said, we hope nothing bad happened to her because he met her first through e- Yahoo email and all that stuff. Then she stumbled on the YouTube at the end of 2010. Then I discovered her channel. Then we all started having group chats and phone exchanging phone numbers and all this stuff. Yeah, that's how we came about. Then they didn't do no videos. Most of them did. Only me and another girl did, but they mostly came to my channel. No, this because I was doing the most shit, and all that stuff. I wasn't gaming back then. I was doing rants and all that stuff and
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
reviews and all that shit. Yeah, that's when I had to cut my locks off and start over. Yeah, I hated that. Now, I really shouldn't have had to do that because dreadlocks are dreadlocks, no matter how shitty they look.
Right, it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
you just get you can get them refretted, stripped down and then reattached, and you know what I mean.
yeah, but yeah. Anyways, people like my mom, she wanted me to have them for a certain style. I'm like, no, because this is who I am. People be getting these things for the wrong reasons. I got them, and there a few people got them because that's who we fucking are. shoot, people came to me and said that I inspired them to get hair like
I
your
know
sister.
I'm used to dreads and shit like that. My brother's married to a Jamaican,
Oh,
and yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So and then my niece is obviously mixed, and so's my nephew as well, and I'm used to like dealing with that hair as well, and like styling it and doing all the things with the kids from the minute they growed up, And like my eldest niece is 21 now, and she's got beautiful hair,
Uh,
absolutely. Like, yeah, and she's really looked after it and grown it quite long, and Afro Caribbean hair is harder to grow, and you got to treat it right and protect it.
huh. But yeah, my hair, I have to keep that shit washed, man. In
Yeah,
order for
she's
it to
got
be good.
real good hair. I'm telling you, for like the like it's like lamb's wool, but like if she looks after it and like she puts oils on it and all good shit and relaxes it and stuff, and she gets these big ringlets, like and she does like a gentle relax on her curls. Yeah, beautiful. I love her fucking hair, and she's always like, "Oh, but auntie, I love your hair because I got the Caucasian fucking hair, right?" And she's
Yeah,
like, "I love your hair; it's all straight and this and that." And I'm like, "I love your hair, all those big corkscrew curls, like, you know." Yeah, we love each other's hair, and I'm like, "You always want what you don't have."
uh, yeah. Shoot, yeah. Now I'm keeping this here to the day I die. Shoot, I don't care what nobody says. I know some parts fall off some of the time because in the middle, some of them in the middle will get skinny and all this stuff. You can't,
Yeah,
I
yeah, with
can't
dreads,
hold it together.
yeah, like, so my nephew's got the dreads because obviously he's the boy, but the girls, like, they relax their hair, and I've encouraged them to never, like, cut all their hair off, like, you gotta keep your hair. I bought them silk wraps as well, special silk ones, like, so less breakages with their hair and stuff for them,
Uh-huh.
because, like, all the girls in the family have got super long hair, it's like our thing, and I'm like, and I walk down the street with my girls, like, my nieces, and we're all got the long hair, and theirs is all curly. And one of them, because like the mix, one of them's got super dark brunette hair with the corkscrew curls, and the other one is like there's some like honey mix into the hair. So,
Uh,
like, yeah, and they're cool, and yeah,
yeah, but
good
like I
girl.
in the middle of my dress, one of them gets skinny. They can't hold together anymore. So sometimes I just rip it off. So some more of that shit's gonna grow in the future.
Yeah, but you can reattach that shit. So this is what I'm saying. So with my
Yeah.
nephew, like, so with he used to like we used to cornrow his hair when he was younger, right? It's
Uh-huh.
easy,
I
cornrow
had
that shit.
those. I had that
And
20 years ago.
yeah, so when you're young, like a young boy, you cornrow it and whatnot. But now he's older, like he's a teenager, and he wanted the dreads, so I started him up with the dreads, and now he comes to me if he's got issues with his dreads. He doesn't even go to his mum, who culturally she should know more about the hair than I should, but I'm actually better with it than she is, and yeah, I fix his dreads for him. So we take it off, and I thread out the hair, and I reweave it, and like, so you take out some of the hair fiber from it, and you'll thicken it in another place and weave it into the skinnier place, right?
Uh-huh.
And
Right.
then I can braid it back into the actual broken dread itself and reattach, and like make it look good again, like fresh.
Yes, somebody in my town that can do that too.
Yeah, I can do that. And you wouldn't think a white girl from England's got the fucking knack for that shit, but because like my
Oh, wow.
nephews and nieces, and I'm good with that. Yeah, I'm real good.
Yeah, I wish I could have thought of that back in 2011 when I had to chop it off and start over with little ones too. Then I ain't even like the little ones, so decided to get a perm. My uncle said you went West Coast on that shit. That lasts like a few weeks. That shit started falling out because my hair can't take no perm.
Yeah,
All
no,
this
that'll
stuff.
break it. That's real strong on the hair. Like, and that's stronger than even relaxant. And relaxant's strong enough because it's almost like a perming kit, but it's like rather than making it curl, it makes it straighten with a relaxer, right? But
Right.
even that, because like, I remember when my brother started dating, like his wife, she asked me to help her with like relaxing her hair. This is before my nieces were even born. So I guess I kind of got into like doing the hair before my nieces were even born, you know, helping her relax her hair and stuff, and doing treatments on it because you got to be real careful. And I'm good at
Oh yeah.
doing hair anyway, and yeah, like I've often like dyed friends' hair, and like if you're using peroxide, it's strong chemicals. You have to watch that shit because it can burn the hair, and it's the same
Uh-huh.
with relaxants as well. It's like it's the same sort of like harsh chemicals in it that can burn the
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah, because I got very soft hair, so that's what I wasn't aware of back then.
And that's like
That's
my niece's hair, my oldest. I would say it's so soft it feels like little lamb's wool, like it's beautiful.
uh, but shoot. Yeah, then I remember when I got that perm in 2011, my mom and her mom did not like that shit. And it was, they saw it was falling out, said, no, what, you need to do something about that. I didn't want to.
Yeah, I think you suit the dreads, in all honesty, Bright. It suits you. Yeah, it really
Yeah,
does. I can't imagine you without the dreads.
yeah, I can't imagine myself without it. I remember when I showed my best friend that I found him back in 2011. I had a rag on for the most of the time and all this stuff. He says,
You
I
could
know
go.
you colorful.
I
I
reckon
know
you could
you
fix
colorful.
your own dreads. You know that. I reckon, and there's plenty of like little short YouTube videos where like it'll teach you how to fix dreads, right? So like a
Yeah,
snapped off dread and how to like refix it and weave it back in and what, like, yeah, you could probably do that shit yourself. So when it happens again, you can. It's not that hard.
yeah, yeah. But me, I don't care about those styles. I like them straight, like old school and all that
Yeah, I
shit.
like it like that, and I like them quite thin. I don't like the big flat double ones and things. I like them like nice and thin. Like I keep them clean. Like even for my nephew, he doesn't have like big wodges. Some people like the thick dread or they let it
Yeah,
double up and
that's
shit. I
cool.
don't do that. I
Yeah,
skinny them out. I separate them. I make them nice and thin and clean. I take out like any sort of like felt or any sort of things that's gathered in it, clean it all up, strip it all down, thin it out, and attach it to where it should be and make it look flush again.
yeah. But okay, I'm okay with the double dreaded stuff. Cause I have another stylist I have. She'll do that for me when it's time for me to refresh it, and I keep it like that for a while, and then later on let them all out. Yeah, cause like you said, I can't imagine myself being about to dress like my best friend from high school that I did
It's like
videos with
me with
back in
my hair,
2010.
right? It's like so my hair is like all the way down to my ass, and I've
Uh,
only ever cut my hair off one time, and I fucking regretted it instantly. And it wasn't because I looked bad. Everyone was giving me compliments and everything, but it was the fact I didn't feel like me anymore. I just didn't feel like me, and I grew that shit back. And that's it. I'm done. It's like, yeah, I trim up the ends now and again, like get a few like dead ends, and I trim off a little bit, or if I'm starting to sit on my hair, I trim off a little bit, you know?
oh yeah,
Yeah, and
but
that's
yeah,
it. Because if I take my hair off, I've done it one time and I know I just don't feel like me. Yeah, like I'm meant to have long hair, when you just know?
yeah, but yeah, but I remember when I was about him in 2011, my best friend said, "No, I know how you feel. You feel naked without your
Yeah,
dreadlocks." Yeah,
that's
that's
how I
exactly how
felt.
I feel.
Naked, I didn't feel like myself. You do. Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I don't like the styles that my mom be coming up with. My dad, he doesn't like me with long hair, period. But he said he's okay with whatever I do. For him personally, he don't like none of his sons with long hair.
I think you look cool as fuck.
Hell yeah, I look great. You
Yeah,
know,
right. Yeah, yeah. You got to go with what suits you as well, and that's more important. What makes you feel like you as an
like
individual.
what
That's
makes
what I
you,
say.
well, yeah, wait, yeah, that's you, and what makes you feel attractive. Because
Just make
women, they
sure
like,
that that's it, and if that's we've all got our own individuality, right? And we
yeah,
sculpt ourselves out to some degree, and you get the final sculpted version. And if that's how you feel that you present yourself the best, then that's it, right? End up.
yeah, yeah. Women like said this attractive on me and all this stuff, and it works for me and all this stuff. Yeah, I even had cats, I even had cats playing in my hair, thinking it's yarn and all
I
this
have
stuff.
my cat does that with my hair. So my cat, especially when I freshly washed my hair, he fucking goes mad. Like you would think that my hair smelled like catnip, the way that my cat rubs all in my long hair when I've just bathed. And he like gets his little face and nuzzles all my hair and then drapes it all over his back. So he goes under my curtain of hair and like gets it all over his back and over his face and just sits there with it over him.
Hmm. Then yeah, well, I remember I was at my friend's house. His girlfriend had a lot of cats. Yeah, one of them kept on reaching for my hair. I had to tell her one time, "Come on, stop it. This isn't yarn." As that
Oh
started
yeah,
rolling
yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
right there, because they're gonna think that it's like a toy or something, right?
No,
And babies as well have done that with me as well. Like all my nieces and nephews, and even my own kid, all grabbed onto my hair. Like when I was changing the diaper when they were babies, like yeah, because you're kind of leaning over them, right? Like they're on the
yeah,
changing mat and you're cleaning them, and like they'd grab fistles of my hair and wrap their little baby fingers, their little clammy baby fingers, all in my hair, and then like I'm trying to like I'm under like they're kicking their little legs and I'm trying to clean their nappy and do all this shit. And they're literally winding their little fingers more and more into my hair. And then at the end of the diaper, I got to try and unwind their little sticky fingers from my hair now.
yeah, yeah, but that's entertaining. If I have a cat playing in my dreadlocks and all this
Yeah,
stuff,
I've had it
they'll be
done with
swinging from.
babies, pets and babies. Love my hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be hilarious and entertaining. They swinging from one end to another one on your hair.
Yeah, they're right. I think that's
Yeah.
the thing when you've got super long hair, like, yeah, they just go for it.
Uh, then people be asking me, does that hurt your back? Then I do smoke cigarettes. Said, do you worry about lighting your hair on fire?
Yeah,
Shoot.
people say that to me as well, funny
Hey,
enough.
it ain't like I have a crack lighter. Shoot.
And a lot, well, like even now, like my hair, I've got it down, but I braided it, so I've got it like in two pigtails, like braided pigtails either side, because it's super long. And even with it super long, it and braided, it's still like all the way like to the past my hip, even with the braids.
uh, yeah.
Like I look like Pocahontas.
Oh, like,
Like
but
two braids.
yeah, but when I jump in the shower and all that stuff and hop out, it'll feel like it's a dollar weight down on your back. It'll weigh
Yeah, it is.
down.
And that's what I feel like. And when it's wet as well, and my hair takes forever to dry, all of that. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, I have to
thing.
wrap it in the towel and all this
But
stuff.
then I
Then
don't
put
mind
that
that when
on.
it's real hot weather, because if it's real hot weather, sometimes I'll purposely like go like jump in the shower and then I'll braid my hair up. And then, like, obviously, that locks in the wetness and the coolness, and then, like, it stays kind of wet and damp for majority of the day, especially on a hot summer's day, and I'm good with that.
Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the best time to do it.
Right? Yeah, you braid it up tight and wet and whatnot, and it keeps it all cool, like for half, especially if it's a real like middle of summer. It's good.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, which is right now. Yeah,
I've been doing that a lot this summer, even just like yeah, washing my hair and whilst it's still wet, putting it in braids and just wearing it like that until it needs.
yeah,
If I have it down too much in the summertime, it makes me real hot.
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. I had mine in the ponytail and all that shit.
Yeah, but at least this way, like the breeze can get to the back of my neck, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah,
Yeah, Yeah, man. Yeah, I try not to have nothing on top of because it's
And
too
my
hot for
hair's
that
far
all the
too long and far too heavy to like wear it up. So like if I try and put it up in a high ponytail, it will just slide down gradually because of the weight of the hair. It's too big to wrap to put it in a bun, like kind of thing. I would have to headscarf it because it's so much hair, you know.
time. Uh-huh.
And then that would just bake the heat in my head anyway. So it's like, yeah, the best option for me is to just braid it and do that shit.
Hmm. And then shoot, the hair shit. But I had long. I was when I was young. When I was a kid, I had long hair, long curly hair. Like people used to mistaken me for a girl. My dad got tired of that shit, so he cut it. So I had a high top fade and a braid, one braid or whatever in the back of my head.
Mm. Yeah, I know. I remember back in the day when that was quite popular, like the little, like, kind of rat tail kind of look, right? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
back in 1990 or whatever,
Right.
91.
Yeah, it was a thing. It was a fucking thing. When you think about all the styles that have come in and out since then, you're like, geez, some of those styles, like, we wouldn't rock those now. We'd be like, what the fuck you doing?
I'm like, what was shit was that? But I remember in the mid '90s, I wanted a moho when I was 8. My parents didn't approve of it. I'm like, you're
That's
not
what
getting
I
a
was
moho.
doing my kiddo. So like I cut his hair and he wanted it bleached out. So because he broke up for summer, right? He was like, "Can you bleach out my hair?" He's like hanging out with his friends, going to festivals, doing the thing. He's like 18 this year, and so I was like, "Yeah, cool. We're gonna like do your hair," and I cut it all up for him, blended it all out on the sides, everything real good, and I shark finned. So like I mohawked it, but like a shark fin, so it peaks like on the top, and it comes down the back into like a real fin all the way down the central comb of the head. And I bleached the whole thing in the center, you know, and then we blended it out with like a turquoise green and a dark green. Like he's in that phase, like with the experimental phase. He's never done that shit where he's like bleached
Yeah,
it, dyed it, done all the crazy. And I'm like, yeah, you're at the right age to do a bit of experimentation, right?
yeah. But back then, but thinking back, I'm glad I never got a moho. I wouldn't look great.
And the good thing is that I can do hair really good. I can just dye hair, cut hair, do everything. So, yeah, It's
Yeah,
good that he came to me with it because I probably did it better than a hairdresser would do it, and it's blended real good. It looks professional.
yeah, I'm glad that I stuck with that top fade up until 1997. Then it was just a faded, bald faded hair. And I ain't have no long hair again, no longer hair again until like 2002 when I started getting this big afro. People like, what's up with your hair? Why are you growing your hair out? All of a sudden, they weren't
Right.
used to me. They weren't used to that look from me. Then I started getting braids in 2003. I know I was late to the party because like in 2000, 2001, braids became a thing, especially in the hip hop.
This is the thing, it all goes in and out of fashion, different things, different styles,
Yeah,
different and kids just
yeah,
in general, when you hit a certain age, you just want to experiment with your individuality and try different things. And if you don't do it at that age, you'll never do it. So that's why I encourage it. It's like I did all that shit when I don't now, I stopped dyeing my hair like in the minute I kind of had my kid really, in all honesty. But I dyed it all the colors of the rainbow at one time. Like I had all different colors. I used to change my hair color probably monthly when I was like 18, 19. And yeah, it's the first time he's ever done that. I'm like, yeah, sure, fucking let's cut it up. Let's dye it green and all of that.
yeah. Because back in 2001, when braids was a thing, I seen rappers rocking that shit that I wasn't used to seeing. Like Ice Cube that got braids, Dr. Dre even got braids. So I'm like, what's with this shit? I said, maybe I need to jump on this bandwagon.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I look good.
Snoop came out with these braids. Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, but shoot, then to the time that shit started getting longer and like in a year. Like after I started in 2003, 2004 was getting longer.
Yeah, I like the longer braids than the short ones, in all honesty. I like if you're gonna do it, do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not one of those that's like things by halves. So I
Well,
prefer like the full on, like long look.
but yeah, I remember my favorite style ever was I got the Ivan Allison type of braids hairstyle. That basketball player, Island. I mean, what's his name? Iverson. Yeah, that's his name. I had this hairstyle back in 2007. Shit, I look like a fucking devil with that now. Hairstyle. Like, but 2007 was the last time I had braids. Like, yeah.
Yeah, the most dramatic thing that I've done in the last couple of years was that I cut bangs. Like that's the only thing that I did do. Like my hair, I'm not actually cutting my hair like the length of it or whatnot. But it's like yeah, I'm gonna like try bangs, and I did that like a couple of years ago. Like I don't know if it's because like I broke up like with my husband and stuff. I was like, let me try something new. You know what I mean? It's so.
Mhm.
Like some people cut their hair all off. That wasn't my route. I wasn't going to go down that path, but I was just like, let me try. I don't want to
Yeah.
have the same hairstyle for the rest of my life.
Uh huh. Yeah. Then I started with dreadlocks. As far as hair goes, like I had, as far as the facial hair, I had some on my face. But I had to shape like back in my high school years. I used to have a beard long as almost David Banner and all this shit.
Yeah, that's the
Then
good thing about being a guy. You get to experiment with your facial hair as well as
yeah,
the hair on your head, right?
yeah, by the time I was 21, I decided that I'm happy being clean shaven, so I kept that shit clean shaven. But like it went from like every 2 weeks in my early years to shaving that shit to every weekend I have to shave that shit off because I don't like having that stuff on my face. I'm happy being clean shaven, and I look
Yeah,
better that way. Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes it looks more youthful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But some people didn't like that shit. I remember
Sometimes
my brother.
it depends. It also depends on the face. Depends like if it suits them. Some guys genuinely look better with facial hair. Some guys have got a real weak chin, and then having a beard kind of like gives them a faux jawline, and it makes them look better. Do you know what I mean? So it depends.
Yes, some people weren't used to me. Like some of the family members didn't like me without the facial hair. Say you look more like a man with that. I'm like, it don't matter. The facial that don't determine if you're a man or not. It's how you carry yourself. I
Exactly
remember,
that. Exactly
like,
that. It's like
I
you get
remember when I was, yeah, when I was 22, I had came to visit my brother in another city. He said, "Man, you look like a fucking chap, a pedophile without that beard." I'm like, I should kick your ass one more time for saying that to me.
That's a bit extreme. Come on
Yeah,
now.
no, yeah, he was
You know,
joking
come
it.
on now.
He was
I mean,
joking
yeah,
it.
you could you'd be able to take like, "Ah, you look like a woman from the back," or something. Sure, say that shit. I'll let you off, but don't be saying that.
Yeah, but he was the only one who said that. Nobody else said.
Yeah, I think that also that's probably the environment he was in and the lingo he was using at the time. It's a bit of that,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Right.
yeah. We're similar, so we're pretty much used to each other in certain ways.
Yeah, but I do think it was probably because of the mindset at that moment of time. Like when you're in that
Yeah,
environment and that's all part of the lingo all too frequently, it rolls off the tongue too easily, you know?
yeah. But like, I was forced to have like a goatee for his wedding back in 2014. Okay, I said, okay, after this, I'm shaving that shit off it. I'm being me once again.
I'd like to see you with a goatee now.
Uh, Shoot. Yeah, the only hair that I keep is on top of my head and off my face, but everywhere else on my body is except.
Fair enough.
Other than that, I look good this way. I don't mean to sound cocky, but that's the reality of me. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep all the hair on my head and remove it everywhere else.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I don't get a bald spot. I heard if you wear too many hats or rags on top of the head, that you get a bald spot.
Ah,
No,
whatever. If that ever happens, Bri, like you reach like 50 and you start thinning, just start rocking a bandana with the dreads. You know what I mean?
yeah, like Hulk Hogan. It.
Right. Like, plus the thing is with all the dreads and all the length and whatnot, like it'd be hard for people to tell, you know, like because you still got it all going on coming out of
Yeah,
the bandana.
yeah, but shoot, like I made a joke said I even go to the links to look like Stevie Wonder, and all this shit.
Yeah, well, I think the bandana would be the coolest way to do it. Like, and the cool,
Yeah,
like, in terms of like, yeah, you ain't got to wear a hat at all weathers, even hot weather, like a cotton kind of cool bandana. You can get some really good ones, and just like rock that with the dreads when you get older. That'd be all right.
man, that's acceptable to me and all this stuff.
Yeah, that's the way
But
I would go with it if that ever did happen down the line. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, hopefully hair products work, but I don't want to risk it because you
Yeah,
don't know
but
what type
it's
of chemicals they
like
are.
I don't like guys that necessarily like go get fucking hair pieces and wigs or all of that, and it's like, uh, and I don't think you need to cover it up with like hats and caps and things. It's like, yeah, a cotton bandana. It's like that's kind of cool, you know. Even in hot weather, you can deal with that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, but shoot.
I think I'm gonna have to get going soon though, because it's super
Yeah,
late.
yeah, I'm about to hop in the shower.
Yeah, it's like 2:15. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna I was gonna do the same actually. I could jump in the shower and get to bed soon. I got to be up in the morning.
yeah, me too. Yeah, take a
It's
pain
been
pill
a
because I feel
pleasure.
my
As yeah, it's been a lovely chat as always, Fry.
yeah. No, I ain't gonna do this next Sunday because I got a little wrestling
Yeah,
stream
I
to
can't do
do.
it every week either, you know. But yeah, we will do it again for sure. You know we do.
Yeah,
We do.
I'll try again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks or so. Yeah, cool. All right, my dude. You have a
All
nice
right.
evening. Take care. Laters. Bye.
Damn. Good night, everyone.
Night.